Yeah, in fact, according to this particular range map, California doesn't even exist. But how can that be? I'm here right now, aren't I? I mean, I don't. Just kidding.
5 meters high at the shoulder, roaming Eurasia from Romania to China at the end of the Oligocene epoch, long after.
How those giant mammals, look how cute they are. Oh my, just adorable. Just look, we want to pinch its little perissodactyl cheeks right there. Paraceratherium. I mean, that's cute, you know? Yeah, the largest mammal to ever walk the earth. Yeah, a pocket pet. There you go, Orchestran. Yeah. And Little Pig Pony says, I just got off work, now I'm off for the next 4 days. Well. And when somebody asks you about it, you could say, yes, this one here is a replica. The real thing I donated to a museum. Or I funded its excavation. That's because of me. And they were so grateful for that that they gave me this to show off. How much cooler is that? It's the difference between being a benevolent philanthropist, making the world a better place, and being a Bond villain, you know? Like, ha ha ha, Mr. Bond. Before you die, let me show you my genuine Tyrannosaurus fossil that I am keeping away from the scientists so that no one can learn from it or appreciate it apart from me, you know? Yeah. Anyway. Now you want to replicate UberWorks? For long after you're gone. Is to take that money that you would have probably way overpaid to buy a dinosaur fossil somewhere. Don't do that. Fund some dinosaur research. Fund an expedition. Use that money to find new dinosaurs. And if you're lucky, they will name one of those after you. And you'll be remembered forever. That's my advice.
I was gonna say that, but then I was like second guess myself, but I'm pretty sure that they are.
Oh, there's a big old lizard over there. Who is that? Just walking across the path, kind of slowly.
Is there evidence of dino shapes defined by the plants in the area, like finch beaks?
This bone comes from the upper arm, like this.
It's a humerus there.
Flat. The bone wall is so thin, it's about the same dimension as the wall of a dirter. A dirter is one of those things you get at the end of the paper towels, the cardboard thing in the middle, you go dir in it. Well, that's what this thing is like. Dirter.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, so fired. There was a big pile of rocks on top of it. Fisher. Oh, and it's on live stream too.
Oh.
Oh, he's so in trouble. Should we tell the story of why I am so upset?
Should we, please?
I think so.
Yeah.
We have these nails that we use to make our mapping grid.
Yeah.
Later, if you want, I could show you one of the maps from last year.
Can you point to the nail right there?
Yeah, there's one here.
They're, as you can tell, Chet, they're kind of hard to spot sometimes.
Yeah. And there's little nails, and we have some larger nails.
Yeah.
That one says 50 east, 96 north. So the north line goes this way, east-west line goes this way. And so when we map the bones, we have a little meter square that we put over, and then we draw our map on our little square of graph paper. And so that's how we map the bones in. And it's really nice to have the grid squares from last year, because that way it's consistent, and then we don't have to reset the grid, which also has some inaccuracies. So I always tell people the most important thing out here, even more important than the fossils or our health or having dinner, is to make sure that you do not mess with the nails. And so Fisher knows that well. He's been here for 3 seasons. And that one was kind of a vulnerable nail because we are moving dirt here. And so that we wouldn't mess with it, we actually put a big pile of rocks around it.
Oh. Well, that disguised the nail.
Covered it in matrix.
Somebody
and then...
forgot that there was a nail under the pile. The tag is gone. No dinner for him tonight.
Chet, there's a very important parts of likely a brand new dinosaur in this white blob right here. That's like a good feeling. I love that feeling, like when
Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
That was weak. Come on, man. Come on, man. That was weak. Go on, man. Hit me. Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do the wheelbarrow. There we go. Can we get this in focus? There is me and my mom and my dad at Lake Tahoe back around 19 and in the same photo frame there is my dog. She was my big sister growing up. Her name was Sasha. She was a Cocker Spaniel. And, yeah, she's got very, very dark colored fur, so you really can't make out much there, but there she is right there, sitting next to my mom's Snoopy stuffed animal. But there's Sasha right there. My parents got Sasha before I was born, and growing up, she was my big sister. This is just the neck. So let's start here at the head. And then move down toward the body. It just keeps going. Just keeps going and going. And then the body would be under there. Holy moly. And look, like the room wasn't even long enough for the entire neck. Just keeps continuing under there. How cool is that? How cool is that? Caravan says, what a great display idea. It's really cool just being able to walk over this. It gives you a different perspective on the animal. That's like a neat bit of interactivity there. I don't think I've seen a plesiosaur displayed like this before. I think that's so cool. That's so cool. Very cool. Oh, look at these guys. Just extraordinary. Take a look. These giant, long-necked marine reptiles, not dinosaurs. These belong to a different group of reptiles outside of the dinosaur family tree. Take a look at them. Just amazing. Breathtaking. It's not often that you get to kind of walk around them from all angles, so this is so cool. And there, of course, is our
Oh, boy, if you got a population like this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got a lot of history. She hasn't done the biggest stuff, though.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2.
Forget what her
Nice.
Nicely done. All right.
scared the crap out of me.
I didn't know that was going on right now. Holy cow. Did you guys see the flip?
Holy flip.
Somebody clip that. Nicely done, guys. Yeah, it's not all ideal. There you go, Volcano Doc, yeah. Yeah. So you did this to me. This was the result. I thought this was really funny. And more than one person on the crew said, Danny, you don't look that different. Which I guess I can take as a compliment.
Here's a step-by-step guide to becoming a fossil. Step 1, die. Once you are...
Yeah, not during my stream, please. Make sure you've lived a nice full life before you do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the personality to be a governor.
No?
I do love to lie.
How do you feel about corruption? You into it? What is digitigrade? I can show you, Will of the Winds. I can show you right here. So digitigrade just means that an animal walks on its toes. That's how it's...
On formal occasions, he's called Brontosaurus.
So in this case...
Big fella, isn't he? 70 feet long. Tips the scales at a substantial 35 tons.
It's actually up in the air. There's a big fleshy pad that would go underneath that. So they walk on their toes, and most mammals do. There's only a few plantigrade mammals. There's us. There's other critters like bears. I think raccoons might also be plantigrade. Yeah, but most mammals, like this ancient killer pig here, this entelodont, they walk on their toes. So this is a wooden model skeleton along with a cast skull. But it'll do the trick. It'll still show us. Right there, you've got the heel that's up in the air. So this whole thing is the foot right there. And I think that's the calcaneum up top, and that's up in the air. Like right here.
We're just seeing that the diversity of dromaeosaurs is so high compared to what we thought, in the past.
That's so cool.
When I named Utahraptor, it was the sixth one ever named.
The sixth dromaeosaur ever?
Sixth dromaeosaur ever.
Shoot.
And now there's over 40, that are dromaeosaurids.
Yeah. Did you, is that part of the start of the trend to name them raptor as the suffix? Was Utahraptor the second one with that suffix?
I'm not sure.
It was Velociraptor and then...
Yeah.
Utahraptor might be the second one.
Yeah, because, we were thinking, the Crichton book, and the whole bit.
Yeah.
And, and Bacher didn't name it, but he did say, you might want to name it for Utah. Because there was some political stuff. I was in Colorado, and my former state paleontologist and head of me didn't want anyone working for a group like Dynamation that I worked with the museum, working in Utah. So, it's like, maybe if you name it after Utah, they'll take it better. And I have to admit, it's probably why I'm now the state paleontologist of Utah, so it wasn't a bad move.
It's a wise decision, yeah. And let's see.
Not the only one.
Have I done any international digs? I've not yet, Theta 500. Not yet.
Problem is, they might not let them back in the country.
Ground control to Major Tom. Drink your protein shake and put your trousers on. That's not how that... Look at that. Yeah. And at the time you said this might be one of the most complete ones in the world? Given that it's got the tip at the end?
Yeah, this is the most complete one in the world.
Wow.
It's certainly the most complete one in North America. It's more complete than the ones from Mongolia. And what this shows is that the claw is very curved. Like, people have said in the past that you've seen reconstructions, like you can see on this drawing here, it's got a quite blunt claw. Well, that was because the original Mononicus claws, the tip is broken, and people didn't realize how curved they were. Actually, one of the things that we did a lot of research on claws, and you can see that you can reconstruct the curvature of the claw by modeling a couple of circles on there. But that's relatively recently that people have been doing that, and we started doing it. But this specimen, the little tip, it was broken, but it was right there next to it, and we can see how complete it is.
Just incredible, yeah. I don't know, archaeologists, from my understanding at least, tend to dig in like very neat squares, like with right angles and like straight edges, and like we don't have time for that kind of thing. Like in paleontology, when we're digging up dinosaurs, like nobody got time for that. Uh-oh. stuck. This is not a great advertisement for the game right now. But oh, never mind. My controller is turned off.
A chunk of a rib, or maybe a transverse process from a vertebra? Maybe a neural spine? So I got some nice symmetry right there. But yeah, very nice. Exactly where we'd expect to find it coming down from up there. Yeah, nice. Wow, finding dinosaur bones live on stream. Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, look at those luscious lashes. Reminds me of me, you know? Yeah. Going. But yeah.
Anyway, and SB says, is there a reason why you couldn't just plop a big tent on the site and work all year round? Funding? Funding. Yeah. We have, I guess, a few $100s for food here, and that's basically our budget. Yeah. Ethan and Don and Jim, they're getting paid out here. I'm getting paid, I guess, through Twitch, through these live streams. But no, I'm volunteering here. I don't get paid to do this. So we've got a few $100, I guess, for fuel and for food, and that's it. Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous, you know. Dinosaurs are big business for Hollywood, for video games, for toy manufacturers, for everything else. But the people who dig up the dinosaurs, we don't see any of that money. Yeah. Anyway.
Thank you, Dorkalotl. Here we go. This is at the reception at the Minnesota Science Center on Wednesday night. Yeah. That's not even the animal moving that fast. It's not sprinting at 40 miles an hour or anything. It's just when you're that large and you've got a stride length that impressive.
And DCI Bank says, so if bats are birds, bats are not birds. No, bats are mammals. They're not birds. Yeah, bats are related to, oh goodness, what are bats related to mammal-wise? I think we're still kind of figuring that out. But bats might be kind of close to like rodents or carnivorans. I think there's still debate about that, but bats are definitely not birds. There's a decent chance that the iguanodonts that we're digging up here might be a new species or a new genus. It's hard to say if they're the same, if they're coeval with Iguana colossus, and we don't have a lot of overlapping material. Like, what do we actually have from Iguana colossus? Do you remember?
It's a maxilla, which is
the
upper jaw.
Upper jawbone, yeah.
Squamosal, which is behind the eye.
Mm-hmm.
A syringular, which is from the jaw. And then a bunch of miscellaneous bones from the rest of the body. So bits of limb, bits of vertebrae, ribs and stuff.
So in order to be able to tell if this dinosaur is the same one as Iguana colossus, we got to find some overlapping material.
So we need a squamosal and a syringular.
Yeah.
Because if those are the bones that have the unique features, you can't tell if they're the same animal unless we have the exact same bones to compare.
Right. So cross your fingers we can find some of those this year. Because I don't think we found any of those so far, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why we're here, you know?
The transition of whales from land to water is pretty well documented, and it's getting better and better every single year. The evolution of whales is a truly fascinating period in the history of life on Earth. It's such a cool example of how paleontology works, you know? Yeah. Allosaurus. A pretty big animal here. Take a look at that. Look at those jaws. Look at those jaws. Hope somebody's clipping this right now. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. So good to see everybody here. Happy Monday. It is September 15th, 2025. We've got some exciting news to discuss today. Holy cow. Thank you, Ren the Only, for the 16 months of support.
That brief moment, we alone.
Thank you, Hogan, for the 100 bits.
To comprehend
Good stuff.
and appreciate the great dinosaurs.
Beautiful. We will be comprehending and appreciating today both of those.
If you're feeling
things.
a bit cheated, try blaming the dinosaurs.
And thank you, Hogan, for the 100 bits there. Brilliant.
Andrea,
Yeah.
541 speaker Andrea.
We've got a brand new dinosaur to discuss today, which was just published by a friend of the channel, Dyson Dinosaur. Filippo Bertozzo himself will be joining us in a little bit to talk about this brand new iguanodont dinosaur. As you can tell by the background here, we're all about iguanodonts today. We've got a brand new one from the early Cretaceous of Portugal. This is something that I've heard a couple of rumors about. Now it's out. Very, very excited about that. Cariocecus is the animal's name. This, the press release just went out today, so the press embargo is now over. I don't think it's really even made its way into the science news yet, so all of you tuning into today's stream, you'll be hearing about this before anybody else, which is really exciting, I think. Anywho, if anybody's here for the very first time, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So sometimes that means I'm out in the field digging up dinosaurs live in the Badlands of Wyoming or Utah or Montana, places like that. I'll actually be doing this again in less than a week now. I'll be back out there in Utah digging in the early Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation, digging up some armored dinosaurs like Gastonia with Josh Lively's crew from the Utah State University Eastern Prehistoric Museum. So we'll be there for about 2 weeks. I'll be live streaming hopefully close to every day. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But anyway, when I'm not in the field, I'm here in my office in the San Francisco Bay Area, talking about fossils, going over new scientific publications, interviewing other paleontologists, like we're doing today with Filippo, and doing a lot of Q&A, just trying to give you at home an inside peek into how paleontology really works. I find this kind of outreach really rewarding for me to do, and people get a kick out of it for sure. I want to be able to show you what fossil science is all about. Not just tell you about it, but show you. Walk you through the process to the best of my ability, make you feel like you're really there. And some members of this community are really there. Like, they've actually gotten involved with paleontology in various ways, and I'm tremendously proud of that. It's such an adventure being part of this whole enterprise, figuring out the specifics of the history of life on Earth, extinction, evolution, the origins of biodiversity. It gives us a perspective that nothing else can. Fossil science is tremendously important, and I'm here to show you what it's all about. So welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah, and we do have a new leatherback turtle. Yeah, we're going to cover that tomorrow, Matt M33. I'm excited. And Bao112, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. No, I was excited about that. Ken also sent me that, Matt M33. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. We might do like a Turtle Tuesday thing tomorrow. Today, it's iguanodonts that we're focusing on. I'm excited for this. But, yeah. Fire Stingray says, good afternoon from California. What part of California? Good afternoon from the beautiful sunny San Francisco Bay Area. I was running around like a madman earlier trying to get a bunch of errands and stuff done before it was time to stream. So many things I gotta take care of before I leave again for the field, but yeah. Inland Empire, very nice. Well, I hope you're having a beautiful day down there like we are here up north. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun stream. And Wombat Hole says, eyelashes, when did they evolve? Which time? eyelashes have probably evolved multiple times because there are different clades of organism that evolved them independently. Birds, many kinds of birds have eyelashes. So somebody was asking about that in the chat earlier. Their eyelashes are not hairs, but feathers. Some of them, like this bird of prey, this one here. Yeah, they've got eyelashes, but these are feathery. There's one on a hornbill. Yeah, various kinds of mammal have eyelashes, including us. That's something that we evolved independently. So bird eyelashes are completely different. They're feathers instead of hair. So birds, who are descended from dinosaurs, evolved this. And I would be willing to guess, not necessarily to wager, I'm not really a betting man, but this is probably something that birds inherited from their dinosaur ancestors. I bet you dinosaurs like Velociraptor and Deinonychus would have also had eyelashes, given these animals had feathers all over their bodies. It's a cinch they would have had some kind of eyelash thing going on, probably. Eyelashes are really useful for, like, keeping dust out of your eyes. It's a good thing to have. Yeah. Nerduino, how are you doing? Hello, hello. Welcome back. Always good to see you, Nerduino. Will I be seeing you at TwitchCon this year, by the way? Yeah, of course. What am I thinking? We're going to do that beach cleanup. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. That's going to be great. I can't wait. But so many things on my mind. So I'm getting ready for the field. I had to, got a haircut today. I like to get a haircut before I leave for the field. Helps keep me clean when I'm out there. It's less hair to deal with. Went grocery shopping, had to pick up some things, got an oil change on my car, helped Lordy with some errands, and then also, really, really important, we'll be talking about this for a minute, I got my flu shot today and my COVID shot. They're really trying to make it difficult to do this nowadays. The people who are currently in charge of the federal government. Did you hear that the Centers for Disease Control, they took the last C on budget cuts? It's now just the Center for Disease. That's a joke, but it's not funny what's happening right now. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. How was your trip to Monterey? It was really good, Jerry Andrews. It was really good. I'll be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow, too. Yeah. And good, you got your shots? Yeah. Yeah, like me and Lordy and Ios all got our flu shots and COVID shots. I actually wanted to share some resources about that. Here's an article from Defector that I'll share right here. Here in the US, they've changed the... This is part of the whole, like, anti-science, anti-knowledge, anti-health agenda that the current federal government has, the executive branch, anyhow. But they've changed the recommendations from the federal government so that...
In all the world, there are
we'll get into it in a second. But Agent Orange, thank you for the 5 gift subs there. I really appreciate that, Agent Orange. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Fantastic. Really appreciate that, Agent Orange. Thank you. There's 5 lucky chatters who won't have to watch a single ad for the next month. I'll be back from the field by the time they have to watch another ad. Thank you, Agent Orange, for your support. We're trying to get to this goal right here before I leave. We'll see if that happens. But yeah. And Brencha says, you still get COVID shots? Absolutely. You said COVID shorts, but I assume you mean shots. Yeah. I know a bunch of people who have gotten COVID recently, including Papa Jim Kirkland got COVID coming back from Germany at this recent conference. I know people who have had to miss important events and stuff like that. There's a big COVID wave going on right now in the United States, and it's ruining people's plans. It's sending people to the hospital. It's bad. It's really bad. You're not hearing that reported on the news right now, but, you know, there's a reason for that. The people who are in charge of the CDC right now, They don't really want you to know about that. It sounds crazy, like it's a conspiracy theory or something like that, but just go digging a little bit, and there are some news outlets that are actually reporting on it, even if it's not like a mainstream thing. But yeah, I've got a lot of really important events coming up. I've got fieldwork this next week. I've got TwitchCon coming up next month. I've got SVP coming up the month after that. And I might be doing some traveling for leatherback turtle related stuff as well. And I have people in my life that I really don't want them to get sick. If I were to pass along COVID to them and they were to end up in the hospital or worse, I could never forgive myself, you know? This is the thing, is that there's a social fabric that we're all part of, you know? It's like George Costanza. We're living in a society, but it's true. And we have to take care of each other the best that we can. And part of that is doing whatever we can to avoid infecting other people with harmful maladies like, coronavirus. So I'm doing my part for that. I don't want to get COVID, and I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to give it to somebody who's more vulnerable than me, too. Especially somebody who might not be able to get vaccinated for that. As a scientist and as a member of my community, I have a duty to try and protect those around me. So, I don't know. If you haven't gotten your COVID shot yet or your flu shot, do yourself a favor and get it. Your insurance might even cover it if you're here in the U.S. I guess if you're outside the U.S., you don't have to worry about things like insurance if you live in a proper country. But us here in the U.S., we have to deal with a lot of stuff like this right now. Oh yeah. Anywho, in a post on Twitter, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said the guidelines fulfilled his promises to end COVID vaccine mandates and keep vaccines available to people who want them, especially the vulnerable. This is a lie. The new guidelines erect enormous barriers for people who want the vaccine, including the vulnerable. The guidelines will result in fewer people getting the vaccine, which will result in more people dying. As someone who's under 65 years old and wants a COVID-19 vaccine, I set out to understand how available they really are. You'll never guess what I found. Anyway, again, important article. Here it is here in the chat. Watch out, Mini Pie. There we go. So yeah, if you have the ability to do it, if you have insurance, go get your COVID shot. You don't want to be out sick for 2 weeks. You don't want to miss out on life for 2 weeks like that. You don't want to give it to anybody else. And you don't want to risk being hospitalized or worse. So anyway, COVID isn't over, despite what people want you to think. So we got to do what we can to protect ourselves and keep living life, you know? So yeah. Anyhow. But yeah, I tried to schedule one at CVS and it wouldn't let me, says Otter do it. I mean, in our case, we had to talk about complicating factors. Like other health issues that they're not going to pry at CVS or Walgreens or whatever. So, if you tell them that you have asthma or early onset dinosaur mania or a brain cloud or something like that, or maybe you have what's it called again? It's the disease that you could get from cats. What is that called, Mini Pie? What's that one? Huh? Toxoplasmosis. Thank you, Claire Burr. Yeah. Severe chemtrail allergy. There you go, Nerduino. Yeah. Murph, yeah, toxoplasmosis. There you go. That's the thing, is that there's barriers being erected to try and keep people from getting preventative health care like the COVID vaccine. If you want to stick it to the people who are trying to get you sick, the people who are trying to... I don't know. You should talk to Ricodactylus about this, but people who are trying to enact eugenics in this country. If you want to really stick it to those folks, go get your shot, That's what I did today, and I'm proud of it. Oh, Mini Pie. Yeah. How are you doing? Yeah. And there you go, Salamander. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You know, if they'll accept early onset dinosaur mania, they'll accept whatever you have, I'm sure. Yeah. Despite the and Claire, yeah, you can also just put it into like a short URL thing or something like that if you want to avoid the cuss in there. But yes. And Otter Do It says I plan to get it ASAP. Don't want it again or to pass it to another. There you go. Yeah. I was pretty upset when I got it from somebody who was being really careless, and I don't ever want to do that to somebody else. So yeah. And you're good, Claire. You're good. Anyway, we man, things have been really busy for me lately. It's just been running around like a crazy person this morning, trying to get everything done. And in a little bit, like I said, we'll be interviewing Filippo Bertozzo, who's got a brand new dinosaur to discuss with us. Very excited about that. But yeah. You're sick for so long last year. I'm sorry to hear that, Salamander. Yeah, and stuff's going around right now, actually, here in the U.S. You're in the U.S. too, Salamander. But yeah. I'm hoping we hear from Jim today, because I want to hear that he's okay. I know that he was going to go to the hospital when he tested positive for COVID, because he's in a particularly... He's got some conditions that make him more vulnerable. So, yeah, really hope that Jim is doing okay. I should have reached out to him, but I've been so busy. Oh, beach cleanup is the Friday of TwitchCon at 7 a.m. Beautiful, Nerdovino. Excellent. I'm still waiting to hear back from some of the folks organizing TwitchCon about some stuff, which will dictate how and when I get there. But, yeah, it's going to be good. And Seawall 101 says comes available in the UK in October. Nice. Yeah, if there's anything you can do to get yourself on that list, you get it ASAP. You know, it's easy for these things to kind of get away from us sometimes. You know. Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to get away from you. Let's get you some treats, Mini Pie. That's what you want, huh? Let's make that happen. What do you think? Do you like that? Yeah? Time to, There we go. Gotta pay the rent here, huh? Our landlord here. Yeah. And... yeah, Otter Do It. I'm part of a bunch of events at TwitchCon. Odd. I can show you on the schedule. Yeah. I've got 2 different panels and potentially some other stuff, too. Oh, there we go. Look at all those. Look at all those treats. Let's let you eat these first. Yeah. I'm also going to see if I can bring Velia this year. Our Velociraptor. Walk around with her like we did last year. That was a lot of fun. But let me find that real quick. Let's see. TwitchCon schedule. Here we are. Yeah. So, I'll be part of this panel, Innovating in Educational Content on Twitch. There's me right there. Along with Science Streams, Casey Snowart, Ultrasaurus, and Trash, too. I guess they're a new addition. But cool, yeah. And then I'll be part of this workshop right here also, which I'm not quite sure how that works. I think it's like a panel, but I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah. And then I might be doing some other stuff, too. We're still kind of working out some of the details here and there. But it's going to be really good. Yeah. And Casey says, I think trashes are moderated. Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. Good to know, Casey. Thank you. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. I was actually asked to be part of 4 other panels, and I said no because I wasn't a particularly good match for any of them. I think I can share this with you. It's okay. It was a neat thought, but these are because of shortcomings in myself. One of them was about viewer rewards. Viewer rewards. Let me enunciate properly there. Things like channel points for themes, stuff like that, which I'm notoriously bad at. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's a salamander. I don't feel called out. I know it, you know? I'm terrible at that. There was another one about emotes. I don't have all my emote slots filled, you know? We've got like 40 open emote slots, which is, since I make all of my emotes myself, a lot of other people will like pay an emote artist to do them, and I don't do that. Stuff like that, so yeah. Maybe you're not the how not to do it angle. I mean, yeah. Sometimes that sort of thing really works, actually. Sometimes there's got to be a name for this, and I'm not a novelist. I'm not an expert in stories. I'm not an expert in like storytelling like this. But there's a name for when you have a character that's introduced to a story who is new to the story. They're just thrown into this situation, and they're kind of like the viewer's entree into this whole scenario. Other characters have to explain things to them, but at the same time they're explaining things to the viewer. There's that, and there's also kind of sister to that. There's kind of the smart guy, dumb guy sort of dynamic that can work really well too. There's a podcast that I used to really like. This is ages ago, before podcasts were even really a thing. It was called Lexicon Valley. And it was a podcast about language and grammar and stuff like that. And it sounds really boring, but they had one guy who was like a professional linguist or a lexicographer. And there was another guy who was just a guy. And he would ask all the questions, and he would kind of play dumb, but it made things really engaging and interesting. It was easy to follow. He was kind of a stand-in for the audience. Yeah. So yeah, Lexicon Valley was really, it was like Biker. I really liked their first few episodes, and then I feel like they completely changed up the format, and it didn't have that same magic anymore. So I stopped listening to it after a while, but I really liked the first few. It was Bob Garfield and what was the other person's name? John McWhorter, I think. No, not latest. I want to see the earliest ones. See all. But anyway, it was good stuff. It was really interesting. Yeah. There was a Learn Spanish podcast I used to listen to like that. I was like, yeah. And they don't even have the original ones on here. This would have been like, I want to say like 2014 or something. Yeah, I don't even know if those are available online anymore. But it was when Bob Garfield he played the dumb guy on there. I hope I'm not being disparaging when I say that. He played the part really well, despite not being a dumb guy. But anyhow, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Before I forget, let's post a picture to Blue Sky there. Maybe we'll do some metazoa, and then we'll start talking about this brand new dinosaur here, which I'm very excited about. And then Filippo will show up at one point too. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. Let's see if that screenshot is any good. We can do better. Okay. There we are. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Go ahead and crop that. Save as. Nice. All right. We've got another brand new dinosaur to discuss on stream today. And let me make sure I spell this critter's name correctly, because it would be embarrassing if I didn't. Cariocecus bocagei. We'll ask Filippo if that pronunciation is acceptable in a bit. We'll be interviewing the lead author on the paper. There we go. To get the inside scoop on what makes this new iguanodont so special. Join us at twitch.tv/paleontologizing. To watch, chat, and hang out. Watch and chat. There we go. Quick screenshot of me in my office with a plethora of iguanodont material on the wall behind me. 3D printed and cast skulls and hands, framed illustrations, framed photos and illustrations from papers, etc. All right. And let's, instead of stream, let's say hashtag Twitch. I gotta use more often on Blue Sky. Good stuff. And thank you, Demon Prince 1.
If it hadn't been for that great dinosaur who saved us from the American forces, we would all be dead.
Here,
Oh my goodness, is that
Amazon's
true?
money and do useful stuff. If they don't do it themselves, XD.
Thank you, Demon Prince. I appreciate that, Prime. Thank you so much for the 8 months. Appreciate that, Demon Prince. Thank you. Good stuff. All right. Post. There we go.
Hold on to your butts.
Excellent. Here is a link right there. Beautiful. If you'd like to engage with that post for whatever reason, there's the link. And Vexy says, appreciate how you always take your time to add an alt text. Really helps us visually impaired folk. You bet, Vexy, of course. I don't know. We're all about accessibility here on this channel. Whether it's taking folks out to the middle of the desert in Utah, like I'll be doing later this week, to show you what fieldwork is like, even if you can't make it out there yourself, to simple things like having closed captions here on the stream, which we can also have fun testing. I could name some other iguanodonts and see if the closed captioning will get them. Like Camptosaurus, Iguanocolossus, Hippodraco. That's pretty good. It got Hippodraco. What about Cedarorestes or Planocoxa? No, not quite. What about Dakotodon? Close enough, I guess. What about Uranosaurus? No, not Tyrannosaurus. Uranosaurus. And it is trying. Yeah, Casey. It does pretty well sometimes. Like, it'll get Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus. See? Not too shabby. Yeah, Dakotodon is going to be my drag name, says Marcy Walks Dogs. Nice. Yeah. Dakotodon is, it's funny, it used to be... we used to just call it Iguanodon. But yeah, Dakotodon. It's an Iguanodontian dinosaur. Here is a little intro to Iguanodontians, in case anybody is unfamiliar with these creatures. There we go. Check this out from Walking with Dinosaurs. Hang on, let me get this ready for viewing, because I didn't have a chance to do that yet. There we go. Get this optimized here. Excellent. So that's Ornithochirus, which is a kind of pterosaur, not a dinosaur. There we go. So when I was a kid, I saw this and I thought, hang on, wait a minute. He just reached the southern tip of North America? That's what it said at the beginning, remember? So the southern tip of North America. What they mean here is... Oh, man, it's not working again. Hang on a second. Why it won't let me link directly there anymore. Might be like a cookies thing or something. But here we go. So yeah, in this, I think our Ornithochirus was leaving from South America here, like Brazil, and then flying north to North America. This is roughly the arrangement of the continents at about this time. This is about... well, this is slightly after, but as close as we can get with this map, slightly after this dinosaur that we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, this is the early Cretaceous period. So the Ornithochirus had flown up here and has reached the southern tip of North America. And found Iguanodon. When I was a kid, I thought, why are there Iguanodon here? Iguanodon is from Europe. What's going on here? But in this case, with Walking with Dinosaurs, they wanted to show dinosaurs from this time and place, and they said, well, we'll just call these Iguanodon. We know they're a kind of Iguanodon dinosaur. I think nowadays these would be called Decododon or something similar. But yeah. Anyway, the point is that these critters are really widespread. We don't call them all Iguanodon nowadays. We've recognized that there's a whole bunch of different genera within this family. So nowadays we'd probably call these Decododon or something. But the point still stands that Iguanodontidae, in fact, the Iguanodontid family, particular family within Iguanodontia, the Iguanodontidae, these guys are really successful, and they are all over the world. They kind of take over the globe at the beginning of the Cretaceous period. Hey, Mudman. Howdy, howdy. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, thanks, Claire. I'll check that out, too. You just hit start interactive, it loads a new window. Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's from HHM. Oh, very cool, Claire. Excellent. I'll check that out. Yep. So this is probably true for many members of this group. So we don't have Polacanthus from North America, not this particular kind of dinosaur, but this is the same group of dinosaurs that Gastonia belongs to. So this dinosaur that I'll be digging up next week, or later this week, really. Shoot, it's Monday, I'll be out there on Friday. Probably start our streams on Saturday, I'm guessing. But, yeah, here, hang on, I'll show you. You're going to become quite familiar with this critter over the next 2 weeks. Gastonia. Really important armored dinosaur. One of the best examples that we have of this group, the Polacanthidae. Very, very spiky. It's a cool critter. Yeah. Really cool critter. We're going to be finding a whole bunch of these. This is potentially the biggest ankylosaur bone bed on the planet that we're going to be digging at. And so this is a special book that I've gotten that I think will be quite useful when we're out there in the field. So this is called British Polacanthid Dinosaurs. Now Polacanthus, which is this same critter right here in the clip that we were just watching, Polacanthus is known from England. Polacanthus foxi, I think. But Gastonia is another member of this group, the Polacanthidae, and so British Polacanthines and their anatomy like this will be really useful to reference during that fieldwork out there. Thank you, Hasemukul, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. And this isn't PNSO, this is, how long good or something? I'll find this for you. I'll give you a link. But it's the best Gastonia model that I could find. And I want to say it's Polacanthus foxi. Somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. Yeah, how long good? Yes, Awkward Cyborg, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Here it is from Happy Hen Toys. Man, that's less than I paid for it. Shoot. There you go. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. So I'll be bringing this model out there to the field because we're going to have, hopefully, a lot of new people tuning in. And if I want to show them, this is the kind of dinosaur we're digging up, you know. I can just show them like this, rather than trying to explain it or draw it each time. Or show them something like a picture. It's really nice to have a physical object that I can direct people's attention toward. I can point to different aspects of it. Be like, oh yeah, we've got a big splate here. It'd be one of these splates. A splate is the term in the biz for, it's like a cross between a spike and a plate. There you go. Stuff like that. Anywho. Yeah. That's about Crimson, yeah. 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 And oh! And Dyson Dinosaur, how are you doing? Here, give me just a few minutes here. Let's get into your paper. I was just introducing folks to the concept of an iguanodont here, using an old clip from Walking with Dinosaurs. So, yeah, here. These are iguanodonts bothering this polycanthine dinosaur. So, yeah, Filippo, I'll be out in the field digging up these guys, not Polycanthus, but Gastonia. Gastonia Lori McWhinney, as soon as this coming Saturday. Very excited. I'll be in the field for about 2 weeks, Vexy. 2 weeks. And here we go. More iguanodonts. So their depiction here is iguanodon, which is a very derived iguanodontid. Iguanodon is the same one, Iguanodon bernersartensis, with this big hand right here on the wall. Huge thumb spike. Filippo's critter is a bit more basal than this. To use an old-fashioned term, it's a bit more primitive. It's from earlier in time, and thus, in many ways, it's much more interesting. But their descendants would go on to kind of take over the world.
Fresh water,
like this guy.
and the banks here are thick with lush.
There. They can chew. So it would have made them really versatile, too. They could eat all kinds of different plants. Anywho, yeah, so iguanodonts. Iguanodontidae. We've got, well, there's Iguanodontia, which is a big group, and there's Iguanodontidae, which is a bit more specific. But yeah, here's Iguanodontidae. Here's a bunch of different iguanodontids. Beryllium, Mantellosaurus, Iguanodon, Proa, Uranosaurus, Jinshaosaurus, Bolong. Typically, these guys are, well, Filippo will tell you in a minute. But, some cool things about them, many of them can switch between walking on all fours and running on just 2 legs. Some of them have got these big thumb spikes. Many of them had the ability to chew their food, which, like the video said, speeds digestion. It made them more efficient herbivores, able to tackle maybe a wider range of different vegetation. They're just supremely cool dinosaurs, and they're kind of the precursors to the duckbills, the hadrosaurs, that come later. That group seems to be descended from the iguanodontids, or Iguanodontia more broadly, I guess. And Barsboldia, I don't know if Barsboldia is an iguanodontid or just an iguanodontian, but Barsboldia, I think, might be a hadrosaur. Named after Rinken Barsbold. I think it's probably a hadrosaur, a duckbill. So this will be a descendant of the iguanodontids, potentially. It's a hadrosaurid. Thank you, Dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah. I remember this image from when I was a kid. This one right here. So Barsboldia in my head is forever tied to this particular illustration, which I think is a lovely one. Yeah. This artist is one of the lesser-known paleo artists. What's his name? Something Taylor, right? Shoot, I have one of his books upstairs. What's his name? I think I've got it here in my notes, I want to say. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it isn't Taylor. Search paleo art. Shoot, what is his name? Timothy Bradley is his name. I don't know how I mixed that up and got Taylor, but yeah. Superb artist. His stuff just has this real dynamism to it. He would find really interesting ways to pose his dinosaurs and other fossil critters. And his style was so distinctive. It was like digital art before digital art was really a thing.
It may not seem like much. 500 bits.
Mudman, thank you for the 500 bits.
Supporting science. Our tweet here on Twitch.
Really appreciate that, Mudman. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. But yeah, this guy, his dinosaur art, incredible. I think some of the best that's ever been done. And I wonder what he's up to now. He's published a few different books, but they were never particularly successful, I don't think. His dimension on there looks so cool. Yeah. That's his Brachylophosaurus, I want to say. But anyhow. Yeah, Timothy Bradley. Oh, and here's his website. Well. Okay, cool. Here's a link. Always like to shout out people, especially people who are underappreciated, you know? He does such cool work. Yeah. Anyway, let me go over here and, Filippo, are you still watching right now? We can go ahead and get that interview started pretty soon if you want to. Let me pull up some of the stuff that you had sent me here. I'm so excited about this because this is before we even have any press articles or anything like that I'm aware of. Here is that new paper in the Journal of Systematic Paleontology. We'll be talking about this. And then let me pull up a few of the images that Filippo sent me. I am beyond excited about this. It is so cool. Here is Filippo right here, holding part of that skull. You'll be seeing this image in the press in a little bit, now that the embargo is over. But there it is right there. Beautiful orbit. Eye socket and this really cool super orbital bar going over it right there. Really awesome. Here is a digital reconstruction, not just of the skull, but a life reconstruction of the animal. A sculpt. This is so cool. Holy moly. I'm so excited about this. And all of you get to hear about this before anybody else. And you're going to get to hear it straight from the guy who's lead author on the paper. Filippo, if you're watching right now, check out... there should be like a little thing that says knock or something like that. I don't know what it would say in Italian. But in English it says knock. Did it already. Okay, let me check here. Check out my dashboard. Stream together. And invite guests. Let's see if I can... There we go. I'll see if I can invite you in this way. We'll see if this works. And if this doesn't work out, I'm not totally sure if this is the old one or the new one. But, let's add you as a favorite too. Dice and Dinosaur. Beautiful. Okay, let me go to your channel and see if I can knock and see if that works. That might be better anyhow. All right.
Still here, guys. So, be patient. Twitch is very bad at these things.
Filippo, I can hear you on your stream. Can you hear me on mine right now? I can hear you. Filippo, I can hear you on your stream. Can you hear me on mine right now?
Yes, I'm trying to understand the knock thing because okay, here, wait.
Okay. Looks like it's working so far.
Okay.
Let me go up to find the right scene. I can hear you, but I'm hearing you through your stream, I think.
Hear you? Why? Why I can't hear you? I can't hear you. Why? Why I can't hear you? I can't hear you.
Okay. Now I have to activate my camera here. Just a moment.
The guys at your live can see me, but I can't hear you. Why? I can see you. Okay. Hello, guys. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Filippo, can you hear me now?
Nope. Oh. Try again.
All right, I'm trying. Testing.
Yes. No, it was a mistake. Then
all right. Excellent. How you doing, Filippo? Congratulations.
Oh my God, this is so incredible to have you here. Wow.
It's wonderful to have you on. Yeah.
This is the first time that we speak, actually. Like
I suppose it is. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna meet in person at SVP, and that's gonna be great. But it's cool to
absolutely.
I'm really excited for that. But it's awesome to connect over this platform first. How has your day been so far? What does it feel like to finally have this thing published?
I was just telling to my people that I've been up since 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've been spinning around since 7 because, as you know, I'm not doing academic job. I am in a lab, so I had that other job to follow.
Right.
And usually I'm there, with my fossils to, prepare it. And say, okay, this is gonna be another day where I stand in front of a bone and I just have my incisor and da. No, today we decided to do other stuff that requires my heavy presence for physical activity like moving, cleaning, and stuff.
Ah.
In the same time, I had the paper out, so press release, post, journalist calling. When I came back home at 5, I had a virtual meeting with a student. And then I had to prepare for my live. And my phone is like ringing since
Right, yeah.
midday. So,
well, if
hello,
in the middle
guys.
of this, if you get a phone call from the BBC or from a big news organization or something, take that call. I can call back later. You've got important things going on right now, so if that happens, that's totally
Come
fine.
on, man.
We understand.
It's 11:30 in the night here in Belgium. Come on, I'm
Okay.
not going. And even if I receive any, I won't reply. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, thank you so much for staying up for all of us, though. I've been looking forward to this, and sorry it took me so long to respond to your email earlier too. I've been very busy lately. I'm getting ready to leave for the field again this week, and there's a lot of things going on.
I hate you.
Well, at least we're not digging up iguanodonts this time. It's just ankylosaurs, so you know.
You just did a few months ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, you know, a new species or two that's par for the course, you know. Yeah. You know about this. Have you talked to Karen Poole at all about the new iguanodonts?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
I'm scared that Karen's mad to me because I didn't use her phylogeny, so
oh,
I hope she's not mad.
Karen is very sweet. She's not going to be mad at you at all. No.
Can you get any more volume out? No, I'm all up. So because I had some problem with my microphone. I need to stay very close to my microphone to have a good audio. So
here, I'll turn the audio up there, Claire, so that we should be able to hear Filippo better. Yeah.
Hello, guys. How are you? Wow, in front of 200 people. I'm not used to stay in front of 200 people. Usually my lives
hey, get used to it.
It'll
be pretty soon. Now you've got a new iguanodont. People are going to be flocking to you. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, would you like to introduce yourself real quick to the chat? For anybody who's not aware of Dyson Dinosaur, he also does science outreach here on Twitch, and he's a real life dinosaur paleontologist like me, but he's on the traditional academic track. And yeah, what do you do, Filippo?
As for every academic track, I'm unemployed.
That's very common. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hi guys. My name is Filippo Bertozzo. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist currently residing here in Belgium. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, meaning I work with especially ornithischians and ornithopods. I am specialized in their biology and especially behavior. And pathologies. So I study what kind of disease, maladies, and lesions they suffer from, and I use those information to reconstruct the lifestyle of especially ornithopods. But hey, I also published on theropods last year, so such a treason.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do scientific communication on Twitch, Instagram. I try at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's important, and it's important to do that in languages other than English too. I feel like if there's any language that's overrepresented in science communication, it's probably English.
But it's
you do most of your work in Italian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I decided to start English streams on Sunday. Well, for me it's night, like now. But for you it's like what is early afternoon, midday?
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time. But the only time that I can do it is on Sunday. So I don't know what kind of people stay on Twitch on Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't get any people, but
some people do. Yeah.
Golganek here and Pyro Kitty sometimes is there. So yeah, I mean it's a tidy little streams together. So
yeah,
it's fine.
Those are fun, and I try and encourage some of my colleagues to do things like this, not necessarily streaming on Twitch, but at least anything that can get them to talk to the general public about their work. I think it makes us as scientists better communicators. It makes us more aware of what people in the general public understand about our science and what they don't. It makes us better scientists overall to do this kind of communication work. So I applaud you for doing that, and I don't
Thank
feel
you.
like there's a tremendous amount of that goes on in the Italian language. So I feel like you're filling an important niche there. Yeah.
We try, and maybe you know what, in SVP we can talk about this, and maybe we can talk maybe with some other. I don't know if Kirsten Formoso is gonna be there. She's also does Twitch.
Yeah, I met her last year. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. We are friends. She came on Belgium in 2022 actually for her PhD.
Oh, cool.
So maybe we can sit together and maybe plan something together for the future. That would be very cool.
That would be really,
I don't
really
know.
cool. Yeah.
I know that for me the difficult point will be my time, but who cares? We are people of the night.
Sometimes we have to be. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, as a researcher, the best time to write papers are in the night.
You think so? Interesting.
Yes.
My
Yes.
favorite time to write papers is like 5 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I wake up, maybe I go for a little run and I come back and then I just write. That's
What's wrong with you? Morning are done to sleep. I would love to sleep in the morning. I have to get up to work, and so I try to sleep in the morning. What is wrong?
There's
with
morning people. There's night
I know.
people. Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know. Yeah. 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 So, thank you so much for sending me the press packet for all of this. I'm flattered that you would trust me with that. I didn't send it to anybody else. I've been very excited about this broadcast.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Who have you sent this out to so far, and what kind of press do you expect to get about this?
We got a very wide cover in in Portugal, of course, and
Nice.
in Belgium. My girlfriend, who's also here in the chat, she's from Belgium, and so she's been scanning the news from France and from
Very
Belgium,
nice.
and actually she told me I ended up in one of the major portal for Belgium and France, and also Netherlands. I discovered. I know tomorrow there's gonna be more on the Italian journals. And I don't know if in the US maybe something will come out because actually Donald Serio he was in the John Hopkins, but I know that he's changed now university, but he's also in the paper. So I don't know if he's gonna do something for the American press release. I hope so, but we'll see.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, I was checking some of my normal like paleontology news websites and I didn't see anything yet. However, there's already a fairly lengthy article on Wikipedia about the new taxon.
Yeah, I saw. Wikipedia was crazy because Cariocecus, actually, I'm so sorry, man. The pronunciation was wrong for you. It's Cariocecus.
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 Exactly. Cariocecus bocagei.
Okay. Cariocecus bocagei.
Exactly. Actually, the Cariocecus Wikipedia appeared like after 1 hour or something like that. The paper, I was like,
they have spies everywhere. That is astonishing. Was it an author on the paper who wrote the article on Wikipedia, or
absolutely not?
No. How did they find out then? That's astonishing.
Your guess is better than mine. I don't know.
Wow, that is. I'm amazed. Can somebody post the article in the chat there to Wikipedia? It's but yeah, that's when I was waiting in line to get my COVID shot this morning. I just thought, I'll see if it's anywhere in the news yet. So I'm just searching the Google News, and there's nothing so far. And then Wikipedia, already there's an article, and already it's got the citation for your paper and everything, and it's like 4 or 5 paragraphs. So I don't know how they do it, but I frequently tell people if there's a particular topic that you're interested with regard to dinosaurs, Wikipedia is usually your best bet for information, because then you can.
I remember when people was in the past was like mocking Wikipedia, like, you read that in Wikipedia, and now it's become one of the best resources ever.
Absolutely,
How things
yeah.
change.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's true for other fields, but for dinosaur paleontology, it is the single best source of information online. It is
absolutely
incredible, and it's incredibly up to date too. Case in point, Cariocecus.
Yeah. And there is a great story behind the name. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Tell us about that. Yeah. What do you want to talk about first with regard to this animal?
First of all, one of the things that you asked me, and I'm pretty sure that you're gonna enjoy this.
Uh-huh. Oh man, look at that. That is beautiful. My goodness. I'm a little bit jealous.
All bones of Cariocecus are in thick share,
Uh-huh.
and the link is in the paper, as well as the CT scans of the maxilla and the brain case. So you can download and print. This is not on Fixture, but I'm gonna send you the file if you want to print it.
I would love that. I will print that tonight if you send me the files. That is, and it's a decent size too. That's really nice.
That's 1-to-1.
Yeah,
and
that's
also
phenomenal.
I have the bag of mystery that was so I cook this paper in my lives since 1 year, and on this bag so the bag of mysteries now it's not mysterious anymore because I have all the specimens printed.
Wow, so these are all the individual skull bones?
Yes, these are the files that you can download from Fixture.
Nice.
They are all scaled. So perfect. Now I plan to paint them, and in the future build up a little mount to have the skull like in position, and everything.
Very cool. Are you gonna glue them all together, or are you gonna have them a little bit separate so that you can show all the individual?
Separate.
So sort of an exploded view. Very, very cool. Oh man, that is gonna be neat. I can't wait to see that. Yeah. That is fantastic, and I can't wait to.
Yeah, I mean, I can still believe it, man. I know that these things change between people in our field. Some people want to do, other people don't care. There are superficial people, there are more focused people, and I mean, there are all sorts of people. For me, naming a dinosaur has always been the thing for me to do as a paleontologist.
Right.
It's something that I always dreamed to do since I was a kid. And I did it now, and it still doesn't feel like real.
Hopefully, it'll set in within the next few days. I think it'll be once you've started to do some news interviews and stuff like that. Maybe it'll start to feel real, or maybe at SVP when people ask you about this animal or something. But I think it'll set in eventually. It's yeah.
Actually,
and...
I think the SVP of this year is gonna be very fun because well, I cannot spoiler too much, but you already spoiled together with Denver. But in October there's gonna be another paper of mine coming out, and it's gonna be very fun to be at SVP after these 2 papers are out, especially the second one, because oh boy. Oh boy. We are studying how to frame the press release for that paper so much because we need to be very careful how to phrase anything, because I don't want to speak too much of that because today we are here for Cariocecus, but for that it's going to be a topic where the media can go very bad.
Yeah, I can understand that because you're dealing with the reproductive behavior of these animals, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful about how you phrase that.
A lot, especially when you deal with what we study in relation to mating. So I'm both excited and terrified. Seriously.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. Interesting. And sometimes language barriers can be difficult like that too, because certain phrases might be perfectly innocent in one language, but they might sound very inappropriate in another language. So being able to have people with multiple different language backgrounds consult on this might be really useful. Is Denver one of the authors on that paper too?
Denver and Leeds.
And Liz too. Excellent.
Our agreement at the beginning was that we are all together in the project. So I was more than happy to invite Denver and Leeds in the paper. So
that's fantastic. Oh man, that's going to get a lot of attention, I think. Maybe even more than this paper. We'll see.
I think that paper will burn Cariocecus out. I'm absolutely sure, because the media will jump in the pool like flies on the honey.
I think you're correct. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you. That's going to be really interesting. And I presume you already have somebody doing the illustrations for that as well? No?
You'll see the illustration.
Okay. Wow.
There are a few surprises for the
Uh-huh.
paleo art in that paper, and
Uh-huh.
oh boy.
That's going to be
Oh
really
boy.
funny. Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't
Fun
wait.
is the word.
Uh-huh. Well, great. That's gonna be really cool. And I'd love to interview you and maybe Denver and Liz about that too when it comes
Oh
out.
yeah,
I
totally.
think that would be a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
they have so much to say about the War with Stack, and they are
Excellent.
always happy to speak about War with Stack. So
Uh-huh. Excellent. Yeah. We were showing that clip from my stream at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum there a few weeks ago here on stream. We were reviewing that footage, and I think you were there in the chat, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I can't wait for that. But to get back to Cariocecus, our new iguanodont here, tell us the story about how this critter was first discovered and where it was first discovered as well.
well, I cannot really say how it was discovered because I still have to speak with the guy. I know the story. I know the story a bit, but not specifically. So the Pedro Marracash is the name of the guy. He was surveying for the SHN, the Sociedad de Historia Natural, that is the association that, together with the Lourinhã Formation, there are different areas where they occupy, and so he
All in
was
Portugal.
surveying he was surveying this area south of Lisbon, on this beach, Praia do Areia do Mastro, if the pronunciation is correct. You have to imagine this. Not really a beach, more like a coast, like a cliff with a boulder, very similar to the Jurassic Coast, basically.
Let me show a picture to the chat real quick on my channel just so that they can see. But if you look in the lower right-hand corner of this photo chat, you can actually see the water there. There is the ocean right there, and that little yellow star. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah,
that
right
is
on
where.
the beach.
That is where the specimen was found, and it was found as a boulder, as a block that just came down, rolled down from the cliff, from erosion or whatever. And Pedro was walking, flipping rocks and stuff. And by flipping one, he found a series of teeth protruding out from the sediment.
That's exciting.
And I think he was like, interesting. So he took the boulder and he brought it back to the association.
How big of a boulder are we talking? How big is this boulder? Okay, so it's something he could carry by hand.
Difficultly, but yes.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was 2016. And the specimen remained in the collection of SHN until, 2019. In 2019, I was doing my PhD in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And I was surveying ornithopod collection for my PhD. And I ended up knowing SHN. So they invited me to join them. And actually, wait, where is it? Where did there. In the very first day of me in Portugal, we went to prospect on the beach, and we found this.
Oh, a femur.
This is a femur of a pterosaur. That
you found a pterosaur femur on your first day,
and we published it in. We published it in 2021. So it was from discovery to publication. That was a journey.
Wow.
So that was the first day. I was there checking the collection. So basically, they have mainly Upper Jurassic material from the Lourinhã Formation. So it's very similar to the Morrison Formation.
Sure.
At a certain point, the director, Bruno Camilo, he told me, Filippo, you know that we have a skull? Sorry, what? Yeah, we have a skull of an iguanodon from the Cretaceous. What? So, little parenthesis for the people here. In Portugal, the Upper Jurassic is very famous and very abundant. You have Draconyx, Hesperonyx, Austriosaurus, Luriniasaurus. You have
Yeah.
Miragaia. You have a ton of animals from the Upper
So it's
Jurassic.
basically like a Portuguese version of what we have here in the Morrison Formation in the U.S. with Allosaurus and Stegosaurus and Apatosaurus. I think maybe the new Walking with Dinosaurs, don't they have one of the episodes about the Lorraine formation?
I
Or
think
maybe
it's Lurinia formation.
maybe it's not. I haven't actually seen that one yet, but
It's
the
from
point is that
Portugal, but
it's famous. Yeah.
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 But Lower Cretaceous, we don't have that much. We have well, we have a Spinosaur, Iberospinus, and then we have isolated material, sauropods, some Ankylopolexian, Iguanodontian, ribs and vertebrae, and a piece of a maxilla, but nothing that diagnostic to say, oh, it's a new species.
Gotcha.
So the presence of Iguanodontians was always inferred.
Sure. You know that these animals are around, but you just have bits and pieces of them. Not enough to actually name a new animal.
Exactly. So when Bruno told me a skull of an iguanodon from the Cretaceous of Portugal, I was wow.
Yeah.
Also because all the iguanodontians from Portugal, no one has a skull.
Right. Yeah.
So I saw the specimen, and the idea was, okay, before preparation, we try to do some CT scan to see what's inside the boulder, and then we can go straight to preparation. Unfortunately, 2020 arrived,
COVID,
and we all have to halt everything until 2022, when I was doing my postdoc here in Brussels. And my supervisor, Pascal Godefroy, who's very famous around paleontology because he did so much. And actually, little trivia: Pascal Godefroy is the only name of a real paleontologist in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Really? His name appears on the screen?
Yeah, in the description of Oloro Titan, he's the only paleontologist referring the game. And when I told him, he say, I don't care.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah,
I would have cared a lot if he told me, but anyway. So he was going to Portugal for a holiday, and I told him, listen, Pascal, go to Torres where they say Chinese, because Bruno has something to show you, among other stuff. So he went there, and they managed to organize this multi-institutional collaboration. Basically, the specimen was to be prepared at the museum here, and it has to be involved both researchers from Belgium and Portugal. And Bruno was more than happy to do that, because finally the specimen could have been prepared and studied. So the specimen arrived in 2023, and it was prepared by our preparator, Stéphane Berton. And Stéphane is one of the most skilled preparator ever. He's a monster. He's a genius. And the day when he called me, saying, Filippo, your skull is ready. Do you know the Looney Tunes scene when the character just disappear and there is the silhouette of the body?
Yeah, there's just like a little cloud of dust.
That was me. That was me. Jumping down to the lab, and when he showed me the skull, I was almost crying because everything was there. But what really took me was that the supraorbital, as you said before, in the preparation of the life, is exactly there in the articulation position. And I was like,
that's nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when Pascal and I were looking at the skull, we were like, this is a new species.
That's incredible. I mean, it's so cool when you can tell at a glance that something is brand new, when you know just by looking at it that that's got to be one of those watershed moments. Like, you'll remember that for the rest of your life, that very moment when you saw that.
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely.
Just astonishing. Yeah. Very, very cool. So that, maybe show that again to the camera so that we can tell, but that supraorbital bar right there, so that goes over the eyeball, and it really reminds me of something like a bird of prey.
Use this.
There we go. Yeah, perfect. So Really, really cool. And I feel like this is really important for chat to see as well, because when we're trying to reconstruct these animals, when we're trying to fill in all the soft tissue and everything, the skin and the muscle and the squishy bits like eyeballs, it can be difficult to imagine what these would look like over a skeleton like that. But that supraorbital bar gives you an idea, like the orbit, the actual eyeball has to be lower than that. So like it kind of gives you a bounding box for where that eyeball should sit.
And I have to say that is, in my opinion, the most interesting part of the paper. Among the
Uh-huh.
many things for which Cariocecus is curious and important,
Uh-huh.
that's the biggest thing that this paper is giving to the community. So
Right.
basically, if you look at it, I mean, the supraorbital is known in many ornithischian. There was the famous mean-looking heterodontosaur from Paul Serino's study that
Yep.
made like very famous. And
Uh-huh.
then we know that there is a paper by Maidment and Porro,
Uh-huh.
2014, something like that, dealing about the evolution of the supraorbital elements.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the bar during the evolution of this dinosaur, it rises until almost fuses with the orbital rim. So at a certain
Right.
point, the bar disappear. In fact,
Sure.
in hadrosaurids, it's not there.
Uh-huh.
It's just incorporated into the rim.
Sure.
But in the other dinosaur, it was there, and people never really, I wouldn't say care. They just didn't study it for some reason.
Right.
And
Okay.
I was always wonder why this dinosaur had this eyebrow bone and what
Uh-huh.
was the function.
Yeah.
So actually, this came up when I was discussing it with Fabio Manucci, the paleo artist, who actually did the model.
Right.
Um, when we were looking at the bones, we noticed something very very interesting. So basically, on the wait, on the supraorbital bar,
Uh-huh.
on the prefrontal,
Yeah.
on the frontal, and on the postorbital, especially on this triangular process,
Right.
we noticed a series of like linings, like linear markings that from the supraorbital was going towards the orbit.
Interesting.
From the prefrontal was going towards here.
Uh-huh.
From the prefrontal was going towards here. So everything was going towards this cavity, the
Right.
upper orbit.
Uh-huh.
In that moment, Fabio had an idea. Let's say, Filippo, there was some time ago Larry Whitmer talking about the defense membrane of the eye on top of the eye in some animals. Maybe it's that. So we
Huh.
contact Larry,
Uh-huh.
and Larry was like, "It's very interesting, but I'm not very familiar with that part of the anatomy of the animal."
Huh.
But one of my former students, Don Serio, he did a PhD thesis on the membranes in birds and crocodiles compared to dinosaurs.
So like the
So
nictitating membrane, that sort of thing?
not really the nectating membrane, the
Yeah.
supraorbital membrane.
Supraorbital membrane. Okay, okay. Nice.
So we contact him, we proposed him to collaborate, and
Uh-huh.
man, the part that we wrote about supraorbital membrane, I like to
Uh-huh.
refer to it as a paper inside a paper.
Very
Because
cool.
the discussion of the supraorbital membrane is so extensive, and
Mm-hmm.
through his knowledge and Fabio's artistic digital skills, we reconstruct the supraorbital membrane
Right.
on top of the eye of the animal, showing how it's very similar to what you see like in eagles and other birds.
Right, yeah.
And they use that to protect the eye from like a direct light of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine an eagle gliding on the sky to check for a prey, but being high, the sunlight is stronger, so they
Mm-hmm.
have to basically cover the eye.
Right, yeah. It's almost like having sunglasses or like a baseball cap or something like that in order to shield the eyes from the
Basically,
sun. Yeah.
of course, Cariocecus and all the other iguanodontids, because we don't have to forget that the supraorbital membrane, the supraorbital bone is not just for Cariocecus, it's iguanodon, oranosaur, it's in many dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
But it could probably protect the eye from like vegetation, direct
Okay.
sunlight, and other stuff. So I like to imagine this dinosaur walking in between forest with like branches, trying to scratch the eye and it doesn't scratch the eye because it has this cup.
Right. Very cool. And that also speaks to how visually based a lot of these dinosaurs would have been. Where when we're in the Holocene, in the modern age, we're used to thinking of big animals as being mammals. And mammals tend not to have very good eyesight, at least compared to things like birds or probably dinosaurs. They're primarily like olfactory. Mammals have got often a very, very good sense of smell, but the primary sense for dinosaurs might have been vision. And that might be why dinosaurs have all of these crazy features that they've evolved. Sails and spikes and horns and frills and all kinds of things like that. So eyesight would have been potentially more important to dinosaurs than it is to mammals. And so protecting those eyes makes a lot of sense with those supraorbital bones like that. That's really cool. Do you feel like this has important implications for how we reconstruct dinosaurs when we're doing illustrations, paintings, sculptures, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. There are people already started to discuss online. There is actually a reconstruction by Henry Sharp, which is amazing. And and especially Fabio Manucci, he wrote a post about it, and they are already started to say, okay, maybe we need to reconsider how we reconstruct the orbital region of some dinosaurs because of
Very
this.
cool. Wow. That's really exciting to have a paper that you've published being the talk of the town among paleo artists. And
oh, I'm used to that. Remember the Parasaurolophus paper?
I do remember that. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Very cool. Well, here's another example that you can point to then. It's a good thing to have on your resume. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we've got a chat from a first-time chatter here. Magic Turtle says, "I've seen Jurassic Park. T-Rex only sees movement. It would not have been like that in real life, most likely. This is an animal that would have had supremely good eyesight, like most dinosaurs would have had. So, yeah, in real life, that Tyrannosaurus would have absolutely just chomped Alan Grant and Lex Murphy. It would not have been pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Super cool stuff. Holy cow. Let me go back to my my questions here, and if anybody else in the chat has got any questions too, don't hesitate to ask those. This is supposed to be a live interactive broadcast, so if you have questions, don't be shy. Filippo, I gotta ask you, going back to iguanodonts in general, why, in your opinion, are iguanodonts the best dinosaurs?
There are two ways to answer this question.
Okay.
The first one is if you are a supporter of a soccer team, why do you consider the soccer team the best? You can't. It comes from your heart. You cannot say why it's the best one. Why? Okay, I speak about Italian soccer. Why International is better than Milan? I don't know. It comes out from my heart, and I don't care about soccer. It's just an example.
Yeah.
So why
you say football, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Well, I appreciate you trying to translate this for an American audience, but you don't have to do that. You can say the real terms if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why iguanodontia? Why not? I mean, but the real question, apart from jokes, is that first of all, they are kind of underrated dinosaurs. And I think for the wrong reason, because they can tell you so much about the modern tempo of evolution. One of the most interesting things for me, it's incredible. The more I study this thing, especially in collaboration with another Italian, Filippo Rotatori, who published Esperonyx a few years ago, we are wondering, especially him because it was his PhD topic. You have this small to medium size iguanodontians in the Upper Jurassic, like Camptosaur, Draconix, Dryosaur, and stuff.
Sure.
And then you jump to the early Cretaceous, and you start to have Iguanodon,
right?
Oranosaur, Lurdosaurus, Cariocecus. It's so nice to say his name now.
Congratulations, yeah.
Altirhinus, Probactrosaurus, up to Shantungosaurus.
Right.
What the freak happened between the late Jurassic and the early Cretaceous? I now more some people, I think, claim that there was a mass extinction event, like a small
Yeah.
one
So
between the Jurassic Cretaceous.
Jim Kirkland is making this case. He just presented on this at a conference in Germany last week, I think. He thinks it was an asteroid impact that actually hit in southern Africa, and that might have been in coordination with, or not in coordination. It wasn't a conspiracy, but it might have been at the same time as massive volcanic eruptions too, near Japan at the time. So it could have been like a major catastrophe on planet Earth that wiped away a lot of these big sauropods and cleared the path for ornithopods to kind of take over, the iguanodonts to have their heyday.
Yeah, so you have this jump in evolution and size that really intrigues me. And
Yeah.
what is important and nice about Cariocecus is that we have in Portugal the rare case where in the same, more or less same geographic locality, if not separated by 50 or 70 kilometers, you have dinosaurs from the ornithopods from the Upper Jurassic, and now ornithopods from the early Cretaceous. Okay, we don't have the Berriesian and the Valanginian,
Sure.
but still there is a bridge between the two eras with
Yeah.
the same clade of dinosaur. So I think the more we study there in Portugal, the more we might help to unlock the mystery of how this dinosaur just exploded in an evolutionary
Yeah.
terms.
Uh-huh. Because we're talking about a tremendous growth in size. Camptosaurus is what, like maybe six meters long, something like that?
Yeah, it's a little horse basically.
Yeah. And because I mean half of that is tail too. So it's not a particularly large-bodied animal. And then by the end of the Cretaceous, you have things like Shantungosaurus and Edmontosaurus, and they get what, like 13, 14, maybe 15 meters long.
Yeah.
So they're getting it, they're exploding in size.
And then there is this little misconception about the size of iguanodon, because every time people say about iguanodon is small and blah blah blah. Here in Brussels we have more than 20 complete skeletons of iguanodon exactly,
Right.
and you cannot understand how stout and massive these animals are until you are in front of them.
They're
They
huge.
they slap you, they kill you instantly with a slap.
Yep.
Their hands are humongous.
I mean, look at that hand right there. So I've got that 3D print on my wall. It's
But
an enormous
again,
animal.
But again, with a
Huge.
print of only the hand, you cannot even comprehend the size. You need to see the hand with the body.
Right. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's an animal bigger than an elephant, pretty much, right? It's huge. Yeah.
I think the biggest iguanodon is scaled to be 10 meters long.
Okay.
So it's giant.
Yeah. So it's what, like 33, 34 feet long for my American viewers?
Whatever.
Yeah, it's like, it's the size of a bus, pretty much. Like, this is a huge animal. Yeah, and compare that to, like, Camptosaurus. I have a Camptosaurus hand right here. This is that famous cast that everybody's seen. So, this is smaller than my hand, and this is an animal that would be, maybe 15 feet long, maybe like, 4 or 5 meters. Yeah, they compare that to this right here. It's just, no comparison. It's a tremendous increase in size like that happens from the end of the Jurassic into the Cretaceous period. How much of that do you think might be to do with the rise of angiosperms, flowering plants?
I have an idea to write a grant about it,
Uh-huh.
but when I was starting to write it, understand the topic, there were some papers published recently about the topic where they found no correlation between
Interesting.
angiosperms and the rise of ornithopods.
Uh-huh.
I don't really agree because I think there is. I mean, the coincidence is too great.
Right. Yeah.
But I also trust these researchers. So I decided to try the grant with another topic.
Uh-huh. Nice. Okay.
So,
Well, best of luck with the grant. I hope they award it to you. But yeah, for anybody who's wondering, I should have explained that term. Angiosperms are the flowering plants. So It's something like 90% of plant species that are around today are plants that are flowering plants. There were no flowers prior to the evolution of angiosperms, the flowering plants, and that happens in the early Cretaceous period. I forget exactly at which age in the Cretaceous, but it's sometime in the early Cretaceous that angiosperms show up and they just start taking over the planet. And if you have your the primary foliage, the primary like plant life having this big revolution happening, you would think that would affect the plant eaters as well, right? If suddenly you have different kinds of plants everywhere, you would think that would have an effect upon the herbivores. And we're still trying to figure out, in broad strokes, how the evolution of angiosperms affects dinosaurs, because it happened during the age of dinosaurs that flowering plants first evolved. It's kind of at the same time that the iguanodonts start to really take over. And is it a coincidence or is it not? It's a big question right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have enough material to say so. Because more than the iguanodonts, we need to have more fossil angiosperms to say so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And I know people who are working on that right now in Utah in the Cedar Mountain Formation. They're looking at pollen, trying to figure out when exactly angiosperms show up, when they become more common, that kind of thing. So that's work that's currently being done. Yeah. Kind of on that same token, when we're talking about environment and foliage and everything, can you describe for the audience what sort of environment this new dinosaur would have lived in? What did Cariocecus encounter every day in terms of, landscape, plants, other animals living in its environment, that kind of thing?
We don't really know, because the Paposeco Formation is actually not so well studied, especially in comparison with the Lourinhã Formation. There are some studies done by Silveiro Figueiredo, who's also one of the co-author in the paper. But again, it's an area that people have not studied that well. We have information. We also put supplementary information with some microfossils that helps to understand what kind of environment we have. But Paposeco requires a comprehensive study, and this is why I would like to do in the next years specific fieldworks in the area.
Nice.
But from what we know so far, it was a deltoic fluvial deposit. So imagine a plain with rivers next to the sea, maybe.
So right on the coastline, basically.
Yeah, with forest and swamps.
Nice.
And you have this ratherly big iguanodon, Cariocecus, chased by the Iberospinus, the Spinosaur, with some sauropods in the background, because we have sauropod material from the Paposeco, but they are too fragmentary to say anything more than sauropoda in that.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I remember seeing in the paper too that you had fragments of turtles and then a bunch of invertebrates as well.
Tortoise, invertebrates, sometimes crocodiles, like teeth and stuff. So usual stuff for the background fauna.
Nice. Yeah. It's hard to find Cretaceous rocks that don't have crocodile or crocodilomorph material in them, so that's cool. Any lungfish yet that you're aware of?
No.
No,
I don't think there are any fish found so far.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, I'm pretty sure there are. It's just that the problem with the Paposeco is that it's a very difficult site to dig because it's on the cliff, and you need to have gears. You need to lay down with a rope. So you need also to have insurance covered and blah blah blah. So
right, yeah,
it's not a field work for everybody.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, interesting.
It's not like
really cool.
It's not like the quarry that you participate. Everything is on plane and people just sit down and have fun.
This is more vertical field work. You're digging into a cliff face, essentially.
Yeah. You need to have skills. You need to be super careful every single second, and you cannot even have many people. Just a few selected, because you need to have rope and the security systems and blah blah blah. So
Right. But that's really exciting, though, that this is a whole new frontier in Mesozoic paleontology. This is a formation where almost any critter that you find there is going to be a new taxon. It's going to be a new genus, new species.
Yeah.
And there are so many formations like that it's really cool that you have one there in Portugal as well. And very lucky that you've got a beautiful skull of a new dinosaur that just tumbled down in a boulder like that. It's like a gift, you know? It's
crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah. If there were one other taxon that you could find a similar gift for, if you had a boulder tumble down the cliff and you could collect that with any animal in it, what would you want?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
One is a ankylosaur.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure there were some.
Yeah.
And you know me, a sailback iguanodontian.
Absolutely. Yeah. That would be really neat. Yeah. I'm really hoping that one from Utah gets published eventually. I hear that's been sitting in the lab for decades at this point at BYU.
Know. I mean, even
Yeah.
when I met Jim Kirkham the first time in 2014, he was talking to me about that, and I'm like, "Can I come and study, please?"
Right, but it's not his. He doesn't.
I know.
He's not in charge of it. So yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So like, please do it.
Yeah. You got to make friends with Brooks Britt. See if he'll let you study.
I know the name. I never met. So
yeah. He's at Brigham Young University in Utah. You met Jim in 2014. Was that at a conference?
SVP in Berlin.
At SVP. Okay, nice. Yeah. I also met Jim in 2014, but that was at the Mid-Mesozoic conference in Utah and Colorado. I didn't make it to SVP that year. I couldn't afford it.
I have this beautiful memory of Jim. I think we had the poster next to each other or close to each other.
Nice.
And I knew Jim by documentaries and stuff. I mean, it was SVP in Berlin. For many of us, was our first SVP, and to meet people like Tom Holtz, Jim Kirkland, and other big names that we only saw in documentaries. For us,
it's like you're meeting a movie star.
Exactly, like Christmas morning. So I presented myself to Jim. I told him that I was working on Oranosaur, and he started, let me tell you about the sale one from Utah. And he took my hand. He made me sit down on a couch next to his poster, and for 2 hours, I'm not joking, for 2 hours, he spoke straight about the geology and the fauna of his formation. And those 2 hours just flew by.
Yeah, that's Jim. Yeah. Now imagine spending 3 weeks with him out in the field, and yeah. I'm hoping Jim is going to be out with us for a few days when I'm out there in Utah in the next couple weeks, but we'll see if he can make it out there. But it's always a joy to have him on stream. And for one time, we sat down to do a live stream, and I said, "Oh yeah, we'll do a stream for maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes." It was like 4 or 5 hours, and we didn't even realize that much time had gone by. Yeah.
40 minutes is the introduction for Jim.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man. I'm sure he's going to be really excited about this too. And he's going to be thinking about how your new animal, this new iguanodont, is similar or different to the iguanodonts from Utah. And what age is this critter from in the early Cretaceous? What's the particular geological age?
Barremian. 125.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Yeah, so we're
so
starting to think
the Barremian was really a hot pot for iguanodontians.
Yeah,
because we have so many, especially in Europe. We have so many. Now we have also the new one, Istiorakis. We have Cariocecus, Magnamanus, Moreiodon, Proa, Iguanodon, Mantellisaurus, maybe Dollodon,
Mhm.
Istiorachis, Brystoneus, Comptonatus.
There's so many. Yeah.
Oranosaur. Okay, no, Oranosaur is later, but okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really is astonishing that just the diversity of these animals, and it does make me wonder if it has something to do with the rise of angiosperms. Like suddenly you have so much more plant material for them to eat, different species arising. Angiosperms tend to be very diverse. I wonder if that would cause allopatric or sympatric speciation between these critters. So you get all this crazy diversity. But let me show the chat real quick. I'll pull up our geological timescale here, and I'll take them to the Barremian here.
No expense.
Here it is in the lower Cretaceous. So Barremian is about 125 to 129 million years ago, just to give you a sense for where we're at in time. So, yeah, this is important.
Agal
It's
Wagal
important
gifted a
stuff.
tier 1 sub to Buddy Hot.
There's a lot going on at that time. And all the names that you just mentioned, are those all from the Barremian, or most of them? Because that's a tremendous number for such a small slice of time. It's so much smaller than the Aptian or the Albion. It's pretty impressive. There must have been a lot of deposition going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me go through my questions again here. Speaking of this critter from the Barremian, what kind of clues does this give us about the paleobiogeography of iguanodontians in the early Cretaceous? There were some figures about that in the paper that looked really exciting. I haven't had a chance to look at them closely.
So
yeah.
with the phylogeny we propose, I was suggested by my co-author to try to do a paleobiogeoanalysis, something that I've never done before. So luckily he helped me to go especially through the R script. And I know that our hypothesis is a bit strong because it mentioned the possible South American origin for iguanodontians, starting from the Elasmaria, basically the ancestor of the Elasmaria in the Jurassic, moving towards North America for Camptosaur, Dryosaur, then through all the bridges going to Europe with the diversification of the early Cretaceous into all the iguanodontians, with a continuation of migration towards Asia with Altirhinus, Probactrosaur, Bolong, Ginzosaurus, all the others, to then make a circumnavigation of the planet and go back to America through the Beringia to evolve into the other sort. So literally the journey around the world in 50 million of years.
That's so cool.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I can see, because since it's based on a phylogeny, I can see this hypothesis being changed in the future because of different phylogenies. So,
sure. Yeah. So just one new specimen could shake up this whole paradigm right here. If we, yeah. But based on how things are right now, do you have a suspicion about where iguanodontids, members of Iguanodontidae, first originated? Do they have their origins in Europe or in Asia or in North America?
Europe, absolutely.
Europe, absolutely. Why do you say that?
Hadrosauroids appear first in Europe, or at least in the Euro-African plate, because we have this Oranosaur, Moreiodon, which are pretty basal, more basal than other hadrosauroids, but they are also connected phylogenetically. And then we have a cluster of many European hadrosauroids. And with hadrosauroids, I mean a certain group of derived iguanodontians.
Sure.
And then from there, they start to go, especially in Asia. So I don't know where they come from. Maybe North America, from Camptosaur and similar. But I'm pretty sure that the basal part of hadrosauroids start in Europe.
Interesting. Okay. So Europe would be the cradle of the Iguanodontidae in that sense. It seems very appropriate, given that was the start of the study on iguanodontids. But It's really nice how
And
that works out.
this
Yeah.
year we are in the 200 years of
Uh-huh.
the publication of Iguanodon.
Of
So,
Iguanodon, yeah,
woo!
1825 to 2025.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure we'll have some celebrations about that at SVP this year, given that it will be in England. I'm excited about that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I don't want to low down the mood, but I think the final ceremony, the final dinner will be pretty felt this year.
Pretty what?
With all the pretty felt, pretty mood because of the people that left us in the field
True. People like
this
Mark
year.
Norell and
Mark Norell, Barsbold,
yeah.
the other Mongolian paleontologist, but especially Mark. I
Yeah.
think the final banquet, the final
Mhm.
dinner, there will
Might
be
be
some commotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's definitely going to be some sadness there.
Yeah.
There always is. There's always a few, prominent, well-loved paleontologists that
Yeah,
have left
but
us
I
each
don't.
year. But this in
Yeah, but
particular,
I
that's a big deal. Mark and
Mark
Rinken
Mark was,
Barsbold and yeah.
but Mark especially was well loved by everybody. So
We were talking about him the other day on stream when I heard the
Yeah.
news. Yeah, for sure. You know that tradition of trading name tags at SVP every year.
I never
You've never done
liked
that?
it. I have my badges with my name, and that
Yeah.
stays so.
And so I had mentors and colleagues tell me about that since before I ever attended SVP. I was learning about that since, I don't know, I was 14 years old. And then my first SVP, which was Los Angeles 2013, I got Mark Norell's name tag. And I was very proud of that. So that was like kind of a personal connection to Mark Norell. That was the first time I'd ever met him. And I need to find that. It's somewhere around here in my office. But yeah. Oh, Filippo's run off. I'm sure he's grabbing something important. There we go. Your name tags from each year. There you go. Nice. Yeah. I have mine from last year too. I didn't want to trade mine from SVP last year, but
I don't like to trade mine. I mean, it's like a badge.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a token, and this is my last SVP, the one in Toronto.
Mhm.
Oh man, that one was crazy because the day before I was in Niger.
Oh, the day before?
I was.
So you
in
went
Niger.
straight from field work to SVP. I've never done that. Wow.
By stopping in Brussels. So Niamey, the capital of Niger, Paris, Paris with the train, Brussels. Brussels, just go home to change a few things, go to the airport and go to Toronto in one day.
So you probably still had a little bit of dust from the Nigerian desert somewhere on your body as you're presenting your research at SVP. That's really funny. Wow.
Yeah,
I've never done that. Yeah. That's impressive. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited for SVP this year. I'm excited to meet you, and I'm excited to present some research. And
you're gonna enjoy the poster that I have.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm sure. Yeah, I can't wait. Can you give us a little hint what it's gonna be about?
Iguanodon.
Iguanodon. All right, nice. Yeah, very cool. I'm just doing one poster this year, and it's gonna be about Twitch. It's going to be about doing outreach from the field, so fieldwork live streams. Next year, I'd like to do an outreach poster and a research poster like I did last year, but this year just a single poster. But it'll be fun, yeah. And I need to make sure to plan things out this year. There's different people that I need to talk to about research, about outreach, stuff like that. So I'll have my list all written down. And, yeah.
Oh, I learned that in SVP you don't do a list, otherwise you lose track and you become depressed because I had to talk to him and to that. No, don't do a list. Just go with the flow.
Yeah. Last year I did the whole go with the flow thing and it worked pretty well, but there's a few people I was supposed to talk to that I didn't. So I need a short list at the beginning. I talk to those people, and then I can go with the flow afterwards. So, yeah, yeah. Dr. Hubs in the chat says, I show my students a video about Microraptor featuring Mark Norell every semester. This semester will be sad as I will tell them that he has passed. Yeah, it's going to be a sad one for sure. Mark Norell actually won the Romer Simpson medal 2 years ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's already won the highest honor that SVP can bestow. So that's a big deal. Yeah, to get back to this critter in particular, what are you most excited to tell people about this new iguanodont? What do you want people to know about Cariocecus? If there's one thing that people take away from this interview, what do you want them to remember?
2 things.
Yeah.
The first one is one of the most craziest adaptation of this guy, for which I had to spend many weeks, if not months, to try to understand from a biological point of view. So, and it's also a question to you, because I don't think you know this since you still have to read the paper. This is the maxilla.
Okay.
So you have the maxilla, you have the teeth, the jugal. Actually, we also have the ectopterygoid here, very tiny.
Nice.
And a palatine complex that is actually crashed and tilted, so it was very difficult to study, and we weren't even able to describe some of the things. But what do you see of peculiar here?
That's a good question. I'm trying to tell which parts of it are distortion and which parts of it are actual morphology, but it seems pretty robust.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Are these animals eating particularly tough food or something like that?
No, not for that. Why does it look massive?
I can't tell if that's distortion or if it's actual morphology. I don't know. It just looks really thick. It's substantial.
Exactly. Do you see any separation between jugal and maxilla?
That's a really good point. They're fused. Like it's one solid element like that. Why?
Exactly. Jugal and maxilla are fused. These lines here, they are taphonomical fractures.
Okay.
We did a CT scan, and I spent days in the scans to try to see any linings, but this dinosaur was probably a subadult because some of the suture between the skull bones are open.
Okay.
So, for the same reason, important suture for kinetics, such as the jugal maxilla one, should be extremely visible.
Right.
Because it was a subadult.
And
there is a bit of separation between the two here. There is like a V-like separation, but following it just dissipate. And in CT scan, it's a continuous bone.
That's so weird.
I was like, whoa.
So this animal is fusing together its upper jawbones like that into one solid, strong mass.
In the paper, I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be not I wouldn't say hypocrite, like everything on the table. This can be a pathology.
Sure.
It can be
that could be some abnormality. It could be an injury or something unusual about this particular individual.
Not even an injury. This is typical for a developmental defect. So the embryo is growing, and there is some problem in the Hox genes or whatever that do not makes the bone disassociate and stuff.
So there's a chance it could be a developmental disorder, but
in the medical knowledge, these things in the skull bones are extremely rare. Like extremely rare. And in dinosaur literature, there is nothing. And in the vertebrate zoology, paleopathology, there is nothing. So it's possible that is a pathology, but it's very unlikely. So to be a new feature, a new diagnostic feature, a new anatomical feature, and a very extremely rare pathology, the likelihood scale goes to
Yeah, that it's
anatomical
an
feature.
actual real part of the animal's anatomy rather than some fluke. Yeah.
The only way to say something for sure is to have the opposite, the left side.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if you have the same condition left and right, you're pretty sure it's something normal. Because pathologies thrive in asymmetry, as I like to say.
Right.
If you see something strange and is asymmetric, mostly for sure is a pathology. Unfortunately, we don't have a left side, so we cannot be sure 100%. But until we don't find a complete skull, I decided to refer it as an autapomorphy.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. So it's an autapomorphy for those of you who are unfamiliar with that term. It's a unique feature. It's like, here's what makes this new critter new. Like, these are the parts that are really special that we can tell it's a new species or a new genus. Yeah.
The other thing for which I want the people to remember this dinosaur is the name. I already saw people asking why bocagei, why Cariocecus. So, as I said, it was one of my dreams to name a dinosaur, and I can tell you it's not going to be the last.
That's exciting. Yeah.
I always been a fan of mythological names because I always love to go in a paper and go to the etymology and see like a nice discussion of why the name and go through history, culture,
Right. Yeah.
myth that you don't even know. You wouldn't even understand them or know them if it wasn't for that discovery of those paleontologists that wanted to refer to some hidden or lost culture. I don't remember which one, but there was recently a paper where they made like a little, basically, text about epic in a specific culture, speaking exactly about everything about the mythological creature they decided. I always love that because it's a way to maintain the legacy of a culture, to give value to that particular ethnic group or tribe or legacy or culture where the animal comes from, and blah blah blah. So I really wanted to give it a Portuguese mythological name. So I sit down one day and I decided to dig through some Portuguese mythology. And in the call, I also have Fabio Manucci, the paleo artist. We always discuss about. And we were checking some names, and I ended up reading Cariocecus. Cariocecus. You know, Fab, it sounds like a cool name for a
It
dinosaur.
does. It sounds like a genus
So,
name for an animal. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. It fits.
So
Yeah.
what is Cariocecus? Cariocecus was the god of war of the ancient Lusitanian people, so the people living in the Portuguese Spain area, before the conquer of the Roman Empire. When the
Right.
Roman Empire arrived, they colonized the cultures, and they imposes Ares and Mars on
Sure.
their
They're
local
Roman gods they
mythology.
brought with them as they're coming into this territory. Yeah.
So basically, Cariocecus is the precursor of Mars.
So it's like the Portuguese god of war, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah,
That's such a cool
and
name.
to give it to an iguanodontian is just. So in my Twitch there is a recurrent meme that is the iguano god. And without even realizing, I made my meme alive because I literally created the iguano god, the Cariocecus iguanodontian god of war. The meme is alive.
That's so cool. Holy cow. And I hope that other people get as excited about this as we are. Because that is really interesting. And this is something that I've heard Ken Lacavara say as well, that he thinks that herbivorous dinosaurs don't get enough respect. That people are not, they think of plant-eating dinosaurs as being very peaceful and, maybe kind of dopey, not particularly intimidating, but a lot of these animals would have been quite formidable, whether it's a big sauropod or a big iguanodontian. And here you are giving your new dinosaur, a god of war name.
I always say, go to a safari and don't do don't do it, please. But imagine, go to next to a lion that has already eaten without being a threat.
Yeah.
They wouldn't care about you for a little second.
Yeah.
Okay, under the same status mentalis, approach a horse from behind. You're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
point. Yeah.
who's the most dangerous, the lion or the horse?
Right.
It all goes to situation, of course. But in situation, the horses are so unpredictable, more unpredictable than the lion.
Mm-hmm.
Think about hippopotamus, rhinos, elephants. Come on, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Cape buffalo,
they eat.
one of the most
They
dangerous animals in Africa. Yeah. Yeah.
they eat grass. They don't care about the others. They see you, they charge you.
Yeah. Did you think iguanodonts might have been the same way? It would make sense. They're living in an environment that's full of huge, nasty, predatory dinosaurs. They would have had to have been tough and formidable to just be able to survive. I think you've got a really good point there. Do you suspect that this animal, Cariocecus, would have had a thumb spike like Iguanodon, or would it have had a more kind of blunt digit one ungule, kind of like Camptosaurus at this point in evolution?
I think so because Iguanodon, I think, comes before Cariocecus, and he has a huge thumb spike.
Oh,
Then
really?
comes
Okay, nice. Yeah.
then comes Oranosaur. It's reduced, but it has a thumb spike. And
Right.
then there is Cariocecus, and then we have the British specimens, which I think they have the thumb spike. And then you go following the phylogeny. We go to China. We have Bolong that has a thumb spike.
Right.
So phylogenetical bracketing is very plausible that Cariocecus had a
Right,
thumb
yeah.
spike. Well developed, lesser developed, we don't know, but there was one.
Interesting. Now that makes a lot of sense. So if we're to further flesh out this scenario in which you go and approach a Cariocecus back in the Barremian early Cretaceous period, if it's going to charge you, it might be skewering you with its thumb spike like that.
Oh yeah.
That's quite an evocative image.
I'm not saying that that my poster would have something to do about that, but
I'm excited to see it. Yeah, very cool. Okay, that'll be really neat. And that's exciting too because we're still waiting on some of our material to get prepped in the lab from the Cedar Mountain Formation from this year. But we did find an element this year that we think might be a digit one manual ungule, so it might be like the thumb claw from our Cedar Mountain iguanodont from the earliest Cretaceous, maybe like 142 million years old, so like very, very beginning of the Cretaceous. Wow. We think it's probably not a spike. We think it's probably just like on Camptosaurus, where it's just a, little semi-conical claw like that. So, yeah, I'd be really interested to know. Say that again?
Which is what I'm expecting, phylogenetically speaking.
It would make a lot of sense, yeah. But then the question becomes, when did that thumb spike first evolve? And I think that's still something that is yet to be discovered, which is exciting.
When the Iguanodontian decided to conquer the world.
Exactly, yeah.
Think about it. When does Iguanodontia start to be widespread? When they evolve the thumb spike.
Right,
Thumb
yeah.
spike is the key to conquer the world.
I like that. I'm gonna remember that.
I can't
for
even
if I
keep
have
a
any...
straight face.
When I have some world-conquering ambitions in the future, I'll remember that thumb spike idea.
Yeah, think about Facebook.
There you go, yeah. So, with this new critter, I was going to ask you, how long do you think it's going to take for this animal to start appearing in popular media? 'Cause I'll show you something. When I was going to get my COVID shot this morning, I went to Walgreens here in the U.S. and I couldn't help but purchase this. I might give this to Susie Maidmont if I see her in the next couple weeks because she's going to be coming out to the field to join us. But this is Craterosaurus, which is a stegosaur from the UK, which is known from a single fragmentary vertebra. Your animal has much, much better material, and I would think it would make a pretty cool action figure. How long do you think it'll take for the Jurassic World people to make an action figure of your new dinosaur?
Think when Yanni was published, and
Yeah.
see when they made Yanni as a toy. And
Uh-huh.
actually, after seeing that they made Yanni,
Uh-huh.
that is a whoever cared the Scalosaur, and I care a lot, but I don't think that people care about the Scalosaur. It's so no, sorry, it's a Raptodont. Sorry, Raptodontid or
Uh-huh.
Raptodontomorph. Who care? People don't care about Raptodont. I care a lot about Raptodontomorph, but
I do
people don't care.
too,
So
yeah.
why do Yanni? And yet they did. So do the God of War.
Exactly, yeah. And it's got such a cool name, and they could give it a really scowly kind of look with those super orbital bars like that. Can make it look really angry.
Exactly.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I hope that not only do they do that, but I hope that it garners further attention for your work and for iguanodontid dinosaurs in general. It's yeah, this is gonna be cool. Maybe it'll be in the next Jurassic World movie, for crying out loud. We'll
I
see.
would love. I would love it. Since I spoke with Andrew Farkey about Aquilops,
Aquilops, yeah.
I despised Aquilops in the movie until I spoke to Andy, and
Uh-huh.
Andy completely made me change my mind over the Aquilops in the movie.
Huh. Well, because I think I have a similar attitude to yours here, where I know we look at Dilophosaurus from the first Jurassic Park movie, and they make it way too small. They make it look really kind of doofy, and it's got the big neck frill, which they didn't really have. And all of these things bug people like you and me. Like we're not happy about inaccurate representations of a dinosaur in a movie, but Samuel P. Wells, who named Dilophosaurus, um, he was a paleontologist at Berkeley from like the 1930s up until the 1990s. He saw Jurassic Park a few years before he died, and he was overjoyed that his dinosaur was there on the silver screen. And he did an interview about that. We listened to him in his own words. There's audio recordings of this, and he says, like, oh, Dilophosaurus, it's a movie star now. That's my dinosaur up there on the movie screen. And I think he came on strong. I think he gave a great performance. I'm very excited for people to know about him. And that just touched my heart. It made me so happy that he was happy about this.
It's exactly what Andy told me. So I made a video on my YouTube channel where I interview Andy before Jurassic World Rebirth was out.
Nice.
And he told me this and say, listen, Filippo, I study with my team this little creature. I also actually made the 3D print of it. So this is Aquilops.
Very nice, yeah. That's Aquilops right there, which is, it's a small, like, little horned dinosaur with no horns, for anybody who's wondering. Yeah.
So we published that in 2014, and we never thought it was going to go anywhere in terms of media because who cares? And then I saw this, and then I start to go out. I walk down my street in California, and I see people drinking soda, and there is my dinosaur on the soda. How can I hate the movie when my dinosaur is in the soda, is in a Lego set? I think that the perspective over dinosaurs in movie, as rightful they are, as wrong as they can be, and whatever, really change when your dinosaur that you name is in the movie. Because I can tell you, I didn't name it, but I'm pretty sure that the Parasaurolophus from Dominion, the Dominion, the Parasaurolophus that appears at the beginning of the movie with the stupid Chris Pratt scene, which actually I like because it was a reference to the Valley of Guanji,
Right,
but it was how they made Chris Pratt behave that really bothered me. But anyway, those Parasaurolophus, I'm pretty sure they are based on my study because for many years, with all the product that we have in the Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and Jurassic World, and Fallen Kingdom, and then Dominion, until Dominion, the Parasaurolophus model never changed.
Right.
Never. Okay, he might have
That's a good
changed
point.
the color, a bit of the proportion,
Mhm.
but and with the video games, Jurassic World, the game, Operation Genesis, all the others,
It's all the same
Camp
model.
Cretaceous,
Yeah.
all every time always the same model. And then in the time between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, my paper about Parasaurolophus comes out, changing the how we think about Parasaurolophus, with them being more beefier, more bulky with the nuchal ligament and blah blah blah. And
Mhm.
then I go to see Dominion and I see these Parasaurolophuses. I can't hate Dominion. I can't, because
Uh-huh.
my dinosaurs are in the movie, and I think I'm one of the very few people defending Dominion, but for the wrong from the wrong points, because
Sure.
it touches me personally, because one of the
Mhm.
dinosaurs that I contribute to change in the paleontological history is in the movie. How can I hate the movie?
Right.
So
Yeah. I like that. And that's the thing too, is that if these films are introducing the public to new ideas about paleontology, if they're introducing them to new dinosaurs, even if the depiction of the dinosaur is not very good, even if it's inaccurate, at least it's something, you know? And that can have a positive impact. And yeah, I'm really hoping that it happens with your new iguanodont too, because it absolutely deserves to be featured in popular media like this. I've got a feeling that it's going to start showing up in Jurassic World or in video games or in television shows. I think we're going to be hearing a lot about Cariocecus in the near future, and I'm really excited for you, Filippo.
also, I think Cariocecus is a character, playable character. The god is a playable character in some video games online, because when I was searching for Cariocecus as the name, I was see like a gameplay and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So it's something like League of Legends, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not
Uh-huh.
so young.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I want to say too, since it is such a cool name that you chose, and you did choose that name, like that was you as first author on the paper. That's your decision, right?
Basically, the agreement between me and the Portuguese is that I chose the genus, they chose the genus. Sorry, the species.
The
Sorry,
species name.
I've been speaking the entire day. I'm super tired,
No, you're
so
fine.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I choose the genus,
Uh-huh.
and then they choose the species, which is bocagei. Bocagei comes from José Vicente Barbosa do Bocage, who
Okay.
was a 19th century zoologist. Is one of the biggest zoologists in Portugal history. So they wanted to refer the dinosaur to him.
Right.
And
They
I
wanted to honor him
discovered
with that name. Yeah.
and then I discovered that today is the birthday of another Bocage, who was a poet in
Ah.
Portugal. So now people are talking about it, but they are referring it to the wrong Bocage.
Oh well. That'll give you another interesting thing to talk about in the interviews.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do feel like this animal, Cariocecus, does have a good chance of being featured in popular media, because I suspect that some of the dinosaurs that were featured in some of the Jurassic World films were chosen because of their names. Creatures like Atrociraptor or Pyroraptor. These are very cool names, but animals that are known from very, very fragmentary material. We don't really know what the whole animal looked like, but they've got very evocative, very interesting sounding names, very memorable. I think your animal, I think Cariocecus might fit that same bill. I think it
I
might
hope
get
so.
some attention based on that cool name.
I really hope so. I'm planning some posts in the next days. Tomorrow, especially tomorrow, I'm gonna joke a lot about Cariocecus as the name,
Nice.
because there are some pop culture reference to it. Of course, there is an obvious reference to the video game series God of War, which tomorrow I'm gonna make. But also, I don't know if you saw the main reconstruction that we provide, the illustration.
I did. Beautiful. Yeah.
That is done by one of the co-authors, Vincent Carvalho, who's
Uh-huh.
the paleoartist who also did Iberospinus.
Uh-huh.
So when he asked me what kind of color shall we put to the dinosaur. So I spent some time making like some color palette for the dinosaur, and I made 4 choices.
Mm-hmm.
3 are based on modern birds.
Mm-hmm.
1 is based on a pop culture character, and the Victor went directly without knowing to the pop culture one.
Uh-huh.
So the color palette, and I don't think you know it, but maybe people in the chat knows. The color palette, I wanted to give it a Kratos color palette for obvious reason, but Kratos is too much human, so it will end up with skin color, so white beige, some red, some brown for the beard, but I didn't like it. It wasn't the palette I wanted.
Uh-huh.
So, what kind of other character can I choose that looks like Kratos?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big, and especially if I'm pretty sure that most of your audience is American, so I'm pretty sure that what I'm speaking about, they know it. I'm a big fan of Critical Role, the group
Okay.
of voice actor on Twitch and other platform playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they are actors, so it's very nice to watch them. And one of the character, uh, I don't think the guy making the character based on Kratos was just a um, convergent evolution between the two.
Okay.
But there is a character that is really similar to Kratos, that is Grog, and Grog is bluish grayish, brownish red, and a little darker gray. It's the color palette that we choose for mine, because God of War, Kratos, Grog.
It's a little
So
too human of
tomorrow,
yeah.
tomorrow I'll try to tag these creators and see if something
Very
happens.
cool. Yeah, I hope they're excited about it. Let me show off this this illustration here. I'll switch scenes for a second. But and here I gotta turn off these alerts. But there we go. Yeah, so this is the image right here.
The Brenji gifted a tier 1 sub to electric_hearts_.
Some of my coworkers who worked on the latest God of War games. I'll definitely be telling them about Cariocecus. Oh my god.
Very cool, yeah.
Retrodactylus, be sure to see my post tomorrow on Instagram. Be sure it. Be sure
Nice,
about it.
nice. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, Filippo, before I forget, where can people follow you? What are some things you can plug? You've got your Blue Sky account, and I already shared that post with everybody. But Instagram too.
I need to use Blue Sky more since I left Twitter in November for everybody knows what reason.
Oh yeah, me too.
I need to use Blue Sky more, but you can find me especially on Instagram, Dino_Doctor. I have another account where I speak about Dungeons and Dragons and RPG games applied to paleontology, but that is mostly in Italian, so it's not up for you, mostly. Although maybe if you want to learn Italian, but for the Dino Doctor, I always do English stuff. And then I have my Twitch. So on Twitch, I do mostly Italian streams during the week, but on Sunday, around this time, California time, so 2 p.m. California time, I do English streams on Sunday.
Nice, very nice. So everybody follow Dyson Dinosaur if you're not yet doing so. Follow him on Instagram and YouTube, and yeah. Squiggles says Grogosaurus. When?
Is Filippo part of Paleo Games? I had what's his name? The main guy. I'm so tired. So the main guy working on Paleo Games in my stream for a interview. And maybe in the future we will collaborate on something. Yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
Basically, I don't know if you know this, Danny. It's a group of paleontology and paleo artists. Also, Mark Quito was involved.
Okay.
They made. Okay, I can show you. Give me one second.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm not aware of this. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this is about. Yeah. Will this dinosaur have spoken Portuguese or Latin? Neither, Kennedy. Way earlier than that.
So, this book.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I've seen this before that you've showed it off. Very cool.
Yeah, Dr. Drolly Dictionary of Dinosaurs. So basically, it's a manual book for D&D. to introduce dinosaurs and other stuff.
Cool.
But it's amazing because it starts as a paleo book.
That's so cool. Yeah, there's one of the Bairnosaur iguanodon right there.
Yeah,
I might
and
have
I
one on my
just
wall
love
right now.
I just love the idea of people of people sitting on a table or online starting to play D&D with this book, and they just scroll and and they can learn about the Shishan formation.
Very cool. Yeah.
I mean,
All these feathered
it's
dinosaurs
incredible.
from China. Yeah.
Yeah, and and also they spent a lot. You don't find this in normal paleo book. The flora of the formation.
So important. Yeah. Very, very cool.
And this is a Dungeons and Dragons book. I go crazy for this stuff. And then you have, of course, Mark Wheaton, and Mark Wheaton makes. Let me find something. Yeah. So this is a monster that you can use in your adventure.
Is that Tyrannus right there?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
High quality paleo art done by paleo artists and paleontologists for a game. I go crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah.
I go crazy for this stuff.
So
there is a new book coming soon, Professor Primula Portfolio of Paleontology. They always use the first letter for everything. The Dr. Drolling Dictionary of Dinosaurs. You can remember them.
A lot of
Professor
alliteration.
Primula, Professor of Paleontology. Which they are going to include the Neanderthal as playable group of as a playable character. And they explain a lot about Neanderthal biology. It's crazy. It's wow.
Very cool.
So
what's the title again, so that folks can check this book out?
Well, you can check Paleo Games.
Paleo Games. Okay.
Yeah, and in that you can find everything.
And this particular book that you were showing off, what was the title?
Dr. Drolling's Dictionary of Dinosaurs.
Dr. Drolling's Dictionary of Dinosaurs. Excellent.
I mean, last thing I'm going to show you. I mean, how can you not love this book when you discover that you have... Let me find it, because it's... When I realized who it was, how can you hate this book when you have literally a half orc John Hammond?
Oh, that's great.
this is the best book in the world.
That's really awesome. Yeah. And so this works with some of the stuff that you stream in your Italian language streams, right? So you're doing dice games, you're doing D&D, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, I don't know if you know about Beast of the Mesozoic, the one by David Silva.
Beast of the Mesozoic, the action figures, the models. Yeah.
So you know that now he's doing a Cyberzoic, that is the modern Dino Riders. So he takes the Beast of the Mesozoic dinosaur and he put armors and stuff like Dino Riders, but he created this incredible lore, this incredible story to basically give a setting to his stories. Well, it's official that me, other two groups of Italy, and him, we are collaborating to create a Cyberzoic TTRPG game in the future. So a manual, basically you can play kinda D&D with Dino Riders. So next year we might provide material for it.
That's really exciting. And having paleontologists involved with the creative process here, I'm sure you're going to be inserting a lot of actual science in there to get people excited about real paleontology too.
It's a lot. It's a sci-fi setting, so there's going to be a bit of twink there and there, but things about anatomy of animals, behavior of animals, absolutely.
Very cool. That's really exciting. So people when can they expect to see this?
So next year, and you have to take everything with gloves.
Sure.
Everything. Next year, there's gonna be a huge game con for TTRPG festival in Italy, where we are going to planned to present the so-called quick start. A quick start is basically a little let's call it a magazine, a little brochure
Okay.
with the minimum requirements to play, like a very quick rules, quick characters, just to make people try the game and maybe spot some problems, like a beta test. If the beta test in the Italian Gamecom goes well, we will plan for a Kickstarter to kick in
Very cool.
next in summer 2026. But again, gloves, because
Right, yeah.
everything can happen,
With a grain
everything
of
can
salt, we would
delay.
say here in the United States. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Well, that's really exciting. I really hope the beta test goes well. Because I'd love to help promote this on my stream. I'm sure
Listen,
you'll have a lot
one
of
of
people in
my
paleontology who are excited about this,
I
eager to
have
promote it.
I have two big dreams. One is very feasible, one is impossible. But the feasible one, it will be to make one or two games on my Twitch with paleontologist with this game in
Okay.
English. So you consider you invited, even if you have never played. I love to play with people that never played.
I've never
Because
have before. Maybe my first time.
People that never played comes out with the best idea for narrative solution. Because you are not because you are not constrained by rules, because you don't know
Right.
them, so you
Thinking
just
outside the
invent.
box, as we would say. Yeah.
And that's best. The impossible dream is to organize a table game, so with like physical people and not online.
Yeah.
At SVP.
At SVP.
Thomas Solz is an old game master for D&D.
Really? Okay.
I know Andrew Farkey plays a lot of D&D. Daniel Dufault from Toronto plays a lot of D&D. There are
Okay.
many paleontologists playing D&D, and with this one,
Mhm.
I so want to take an evening, and that's why it's impossible, because you cannot take an evening at SVP because you are dead, because you are tired. But I really would love to take an SVP evening, take people, and have like a 4 or 5 hours of D&D session with dinosaurs, with paleontologists. That's my dream.
I feel like that's possible. I feel like we could make that happen potentially, especially if we turn it into an outreach event. There are people in the leadership at SVP now who are very eager to do more outreach. That we could make that happen potentially. Yeah.
Now D&D starts to be like a big thing, like in feature where people playing. So that might be something.
Yeah, okay. We should talk about that.
Yeah.
You and I should discuss that at some point.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Do you think Cariocecus could make an appearance in one of those campaigns potentially?
Absolutely.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
I'm actually I was thinking that in the major. Now I'm going very nerdy here. I'm sorry. In the major setting for D&D, that is the Forgotten Realms. Basically, it's where they based the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie that was in the cinema. In the Forgotten Realms, there is a peninsula called the Chult. And the Chult is this tropical forest filled with dinosaurs. Like dinosaurs everywhere. And there is actually a population there of humans and other fantasy creatures living in a city that basically is Dinotopia.
Okay, nice.
From the
James
the
Gurney
artist. Basically, is a James Gurney version of Dinotopia.
Right.
And in this region, there is a god called Uptau that is the father of the dinosaur. Is the god of dinosaurs in the D&D realm. And I want to make Cariocecus the new Uptau, the new iguana god. Yes.
I love that idea. That's really, really cool. Wow.
So sorry to go very nerdy.
No, that's okay. Yeah. No, I think that's fun. And so many people here on Twitch are interested in D&D as well. I feel like this is an excellent avenue for outreach. So, yeah. Again, if any of you are not yet following Dyson Dinosaur, you are missing out. Give him a follow right now. And, yeah, tune into some of his streams, especially the English language ones, if you happen to speak English like I do. Yeah, on Sundays, you say normally you do the English language streams, right? Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Filippo. This is so exciting. I really appreciate the opportunity to interview you about this, and I can't wait to start seeing Cariocecus show up in popular media, and I'm excited to talk about with some of my colleagues in the field next week. This is oh man, it's exciting stuff, and I hope that you get a lot of media coverage for this. You've already put together a ton of beautiful artwork. You've got an extraordinary fossil. I wish you all the best of luck when you're talking about this critter with journalists, with news organizations. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me, even though I kind of self-invited myself because...
Thank you for doing that. I've been so busy lately that I needed you to do that. So thank you. Yeah. And I appreciate you staying up so late, too, to be able to talk with us. I know how tired you are. So please get some good rest because...
The amount of adrenaline I got today wouldn't make me sleep.
Well, try to get some good rest because I feel like you're going to have a lot of people knocking on your door asking to talk to you about this dinosaur. So I want to make sure
I already have three journalists calling today. So, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Hopefully you have 10 times as many in the next week. This is exciting stuff, Filippo.
With the new paper coming out soon, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. And this will be good practice for the Hadrosaur sex paper that comes out later. So this will be an excellent opportunity to practice your media skills before that comes out, because that's going to get some attention for sure.
You said the word. No, I tried
Anyway.
to be, at the beginning of the stream, I tried to.
Yeah, of course.
The mating paper.
Reproductive behaviors, sure. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, this is really exciting stuff, Filippo. Thank you again for coming on here. I appreciate your time, and everybody in the chat, I'm sure, is really grateful too. So best of luck with all of your media stuff, and yeah, let me know when the other paper is going to come out, and
absolutely,
I'll be thrilled to talk to you about it. And send me the 3D files for this too. I would love to print this. Yeah,
I will.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Filippo.
I'll send it to you via email, so check the email.
Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
Appreciate it,
Bye,
Filippo.
guys.
You get some good rest.
See ya.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Excellent. Filippo Bertozzo, everybody. Thank you again. Huge thank you to Filippo.
Mark Melbourne gifted a tier
Excellent.
1 sub to its Monday moon.
We might have to turn alerts off here for a second because we've got a big backlog. But holy cow, Filippo Bertozzo, everybody.
Mark Melbourne
Excellent.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Genesius
Phenomenal. Fedorek J and Mike201 MJM, thank you for the follows. 33 and 22 minutes ago, respectively. But good stuff. Let's take a look at that paper so you can see why we're so excited about this animal. This is, well, let's take a look at the thread here from Filippo. Is this the one that has... It is. Good. So, for those of you just tuning in, we just interviewed Filippo Bertozzo. He's a paleontologist from Italy, currently working in Belgium. He just described a brand new iguanodont dinosaur. It's one of these big, beaky plant eaters from the early Cretaceous period. So he said, today's new publication has been released in the Journal of Systematic Paleontology, which I should really be following. There we go. We are proud to present to you Cariocecus bocagei. Hope I pronounced that. Bocagei, I think, yeah. A new hadrosauroid. Pretty derived for an iguanodontian, all things considered. From the Papo Seco Formation, the Barremian early Cretaceous of Portugal. So the Barremian is this stage within the early Cretaceous. So it's about halfway through the lower Cretaceous period. So to give you a little bit of perspective here, the dinosaurs that I was digging up last in the field in Utah are probably from the Berriasian. And then I think, let's see, our new Gastonia quarry, not new. I forget the age of that, but anyway, lower Cretaceous period is the thing to remember. About 125 to 130 million years ago, give or take. And check out this beautiful reconstruction right here. Yeah. And there are quite a few dinosaurs known from this area and time. Well, from that time at least. There's no other iguanodonts that have been named from Portugal at this time. This is our first one, to my knowledge, which is really exciting. So it's interesting geographically. It's also interesting temporally. But yeah, this is an important time in the evolution of dinosaurs. The early Cretaceous, the Barremian stage in particular. I love this image. This is great. And I think this is the one that Filippo was referring to, where its coloration is partly inspired by popular culture. I think there might be something about that in one of the posts down below when we scroll down. So this specimen right here, gorgeous skull. A little bit crushed, but beautiful. SHN 832 was found in 2016 by Pedro Marecas of the Sociedade de Historia Natural in Praia do Ario do Mastro, south of Lisbon, Portugal. Pedro noticed a series of lined teeth in a boulder. This is a boulder that had literally rolled down a cliff onto the beach. So this is right on the seashore, like we saw in the paper right here. So this is where that specimen is from. This is the ocean right here. Like, waves are crashing up on this beach. So this thing had almost gone down into the drink. But Pedro Marecas found this just in time. Pedro noticed a series of lined teeth in a boulder that likely fell from the cliff. So he visited the specimen in 2019, and director Bruno Camillo, co-author, showed me the specimen. Indeed, it was worth a study. However, the 2020 pandemic halted the project until 2023, when my supervisor Pascal Godefroy went to visit the museum, establishing a collaboration between the institutions. So here's Filippo holding that specimen right there. He's getting the sense for scale, and his hand's right there. Very cool. This also speaks to something really interesting, something that I'm interested in. COVID and its effects on paleontology and paleontologists. This is part of what I was presenting on last year at SVP, at the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology meeting. Let me pull up my poster here. SVP 2024. There's the poster. There we go. So I've been really interested in tracking, like the poster says, the pace of dinosaur discovery. So when different dinosaurs get published and why. Yeah, so 2019 right here, it's kind of a record year for new dinosaurs published. 47 that year, at least within the past decade. Drop off in 2020, and then a continued drop off until 2024. It starts to pick back up. We'll see where we're at this year. In fact, we can actually look real quick. But Filippo says 2016 was when this new critter was first discovered, when that boulder was collected. But it wasn't until 2023 that he actually got to start studying it. Continued to do that through 2024, and now it's been published in September of 2025. So interesting that there has been what seems like a decline in paleontological publications, if we're using new dinosaur taxa published as a proxy for that. And yeah, a decline, and then things are starting to recover now, it seems. So there. We can now count the number of new dinosaur genera or species that have been published so far in 2025. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So starting with Ivotomb, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Cariocecus, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 new dinosaurs so far in 2025. 33. So, let's try and figure out what that percentage, like what we're on track for so far. So here we go. We had 47 in 2019, and that was almost a record. Almost an all-time record. Certainly a record for the past decade. 47. We're at 33 so far. However, what percentage of 2025 is over? Calculate the percentage of the year past and remaining. So we've got 70% of 2025 is passed already. We only have 29% of the year left. So what we can do is that we can try and calculate.
Let's protect our fossils, because if they're removed, America loses them forever.
And Dark Muppeteer, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Holy cow.
Allosaurus, ancient predecessor of
Here,
the
let's turn these off for now. We're just going to be overrun by alerts. But we've got 33 divided by 0.77. Okay. Nope, hang on. That's not right. 32.3. I'm not a mathematician. Hang on. If we're trying to figure out, we're 70% done with the year, and we've only got 33. We've got 33 dinosaur taxa named so far. That is going to be. Hang on. Let me think. Here, we might need some thinking music. Watch out, sweetie pie. $33 new dinosaur taxa divided by 0.7 equals, there we go. What did I do wrong the first time? 47. So we are currently on track, if current trends continue, which no guarantee they will. But we are on track to maybe meet or exceed the number of dinosaurs published in this banner year 2019. It'll be really interesting to see whether we beat that record. Yeah, it is close to 1 per week. Yeah. In fact, this is something that one of the key findings that I had here. Over the past decade, from 2015 until, at the time this was October 2024, we had 381 new dinosaur species and genera published. That's 38.1 per year on average, or 1 new taxon per 9.58 days. So for every 9.5 days, a new dinosaur. That's a lot, you know? That's a lot. So yeah, it is close to 1 per week, Lenina. It's pretty impressive. It really is. Yeah. Anyway, Sweetie Pie here has found some of the treats that Minnie has left. What do you think there, Sweetie Pie? Good stuff? Yeah? I think there might be some other ones there, huh? Look at that. You gonna eat that one? Yeah, excellent. So yeah, good stuff. And now Filippo's got one of those 33. This Cariocecus. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about this, you know? We'll see how many other new dinosaur genera and species we have published as 2025 marches on. I have it on good authority that there's a few others that we should be excited about. I can't quite tell you about yet, but they should be coming up. Yeah. So exciting stuff. Let's continue with his thread here. So here he is holding that specimen right there, that beautiful skull. Look at that supraorbital bar. Holy cow. So the skull is prepared by Stéphane Berton of RBINS in Brussels. When I saw the finalized specimen, I was in awe. An almost complete skull, missing the left side and rostral portion and lower jaws. From Iguanodontian from the early Cretaceous. My iguano senses were screaming. There we go. In 2024, we assembled a team. Bruno, Pascal, and I analyzed the osteology. It's the bones. Ricardo Araujo helped in describing the brain, inner ear, and guided me through the analytical part for the phylogeny, the evolutionary family tree, and paleobiogeography. So paleobiogeo is going to be important too. We'll talk about that. Hulberg helped with the geology, and Figueiredo with the overview of the Papo Seco formation. So there's a bunch of different authors on this paper here. This is certainly not a single author publication. This was very much a group effort. Look at this list of authors right here. Everybody had their own part to play, their own specialty that they were bringing to this. Important stuff. So Cariocecus, our new dinosaur, indeed turned out to be a new species. The crazy features are the jugal, which is one of the cheekbones, and the maxilla, which is the upper jawbone. Those are co-ossified. They're fused together. This animal had a really strong snoot for whatever reason. A robust snout. And the supraorbital articulates solely with the lacrimal. Interesting. We're able to reconstruct via micro-CT scanning the replacement teeth, brain, and inner ear. So they can actually see through, using a CT scanner, see what's going on in the inner ear of the animal, and look at the replacement teeth as they're still there in the maxilla. So dinosaurs like this have got teeth in their jaws that are constantly replacing. So they're always erupting new teeth and pushing the old teeth out. It's like a constant conveyor belt of teeth, which means some of the teeth are still going to be internal. I can show you that here, actually. This is where I keep my Megalosaurus jaw. So this is a 3D print of the lower jaw of Megalosaurus here. And you can kind of see that tooth replacement thing going on right here. So we've got one big erupted tooth right here. This one is still coming out. We've got a few others in here that are just starting to poke through. Right here too. So these animals were constantly replacing their teeth all the time. As long as they're alive, they're producing new teeth. They would never run out. Which is kind of odd for us to think about as mammals, right? We're used to just having two sets of teeth for our whole lives. You have your baby teeth and your adult teeth. Dinosaurs are not like this. Really, it's kind of strange that we as mammals have this. Mammals are the bizarre ones. Most critters that have teeth are constantly churning out new teeth all the time. Sharks do this. I think lizards do this. Dinosaurs certainly did this. Yeah, it's typical. Always be making new teeth. So they could see the teeth on the inside of the jaw here by doing these micro CT scans, which is really cool. So that's some idea of how these animals would be replacing their teeth. Yeah. And Kaiden said, why did he say the iguanodont was the most advanced dinosaur? He didn't say it was the most advanced, he just said it was his favorite. Filippo's really fond of these animals for a few different reasons. He said part of it was like a home team thing, like rooting for your home team football team. Your hometown football team, rather. And part of it is that these guys, the iguanodontians, they really kind of take over the Earth at the in the late Cretaceous period. Well, throughout the Cretaceous. So dinosaurs like this, they became wildly successful. The Jurassic period was in large part dominated by by sauropods, by long-necked, plant-eating dinosaurs. In both the northern and southern hemisphere, these guys are all over the place. Sauropods were hugely successful throughout the beginning of the Age of Dinosaurs, throughout the earlier part of the Age of Dinosaurs. Sauropods are kind of the dominant herbivores. In the Cretaceous, it gets a bit more complicated. Down in the south, you have big sauropods walking around. But in the Cretaceous in the northern hemisphere, in North America, in Europe, in Asia, it's the iguanodonts that really take over. First early critters like iguanodon, and then later on the duckbill dinosaurs evolved from them, and duckbills are everywhere. They're all over the place. They're in many ways kind of the dominant plant-eating dinosaurs in any given ecosystem in the northern hemisphere. So it's our new critter, Cariocecus, is an important part of this. This animal kind of shows what's going on with these critters at this time in Portugal, in the Barremian early Cretaceous Portugal. And this is neat. We already have some like fan art of this critter being produced. That was fast. This is on DeviantArt from 3 hours ago. Holy cow. Really neat. And then we have some mythological stuff too. Cariocecus. Yeah. What a cool name. But yeah. So iguanodonts are not the... It's not like they're not the ultimate dinosaur, the most evolved dinosaur, because there is no ultimate or most evolved dinosaur. That's not really how these things work. Most evolved doesn't really... What do you mean by that, you know? But they're really important, and they're... You could say they're advanced, I guess. I don't know, they've got a lot of cool things going for them. And then... Oh, there's another really cool piece of art. Check this out. This almost looks like Josh's work. What is this from? Yeah, that totally is. PaleoStream has already produced a portrait of this animal. Check it out. Very nice. And it does have that eagle scowl, yeah. Those supraorbital bones like that, just giving it this... Here it almost looks stern, cross, unhappy. Grumposaurus. That's Claire Burt, yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Yeah, exactly, Claire. Way out of me. Yeah. Yeah, it does have a kind of stern look. You see on an eagle. So these guys also have got that. Here. They also have that bar that goes over the orbit. There we go. Right here. We have this on this new iguanodon too, which is really exciting. And there you go, Crimson. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I love that Josh captured that there. The judgy bone, says Lenina. It's called the supraorbital bone. So we as humans don't really have like a bone there. Anyway, we have this in a few other dinosaurs that kind of gives them that scowly look. But yeah, and you can see it right here. There's that bar right there that goes over the eye socket. Really neat. Yeah. Oh, and it's even easier to see right here because it's a different color. The supraorbital bone. Once I'm able to 3D print this, it'll be plain as day. Yeah. But yeah. And Vexy says, fun fact, the character they based the color palette off of for Cariocecus, Grog, his last name is Strongjaw. Really? Grog, Strongjaw. There we go. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I can see that. Cool. Yeah. And Sporky says, Danny, if you lived in the Jurassic Park or World Universe, would you work for the parks regardless of the potential danger? I don't know. Yeah, probably. I don't know. That's a good question. How much are they willing to pay me? Are there good benefits? And I don't know. How well are the animals taken care of? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. That he wouldn't work for Jurassic World because they are amoral. Yeah, if I couldn't... I don't know. Yeah. Anywho. Continuing. So they used a new matrix to detect the phylogenetical position of this specimen. Cariocecus resulted as a basal hadrosauroid. Interesting. Together with Brightstenius and Comptonatus. Interesting. Comptonatus was the one that was named last summer. However, I'm curious to see how it will change in future projects of mine, especially adding Istioarachus and other species. Very cool. Weird that it comes out as a basal hadrosauroid, but I guess it's about the right time for it. Yeah. Huh. So this is an evolutionary family tree showing each of these different dinosaurs and kind of who they come out as closest to. So this is another like phylogenetic analysis. So you're taking a bunch of different characteristics of these animals. You're coding them as phylogenetic characters and putting them into a matrix. You're basically coding them as ones or zeros, or sometimes twos or threes or whatever. Put it into a computer and then it spits out a cladogram. Like an evolutionary family tree like this. It's all based on your inputs. So if you have limited information, if something goes wrong, then you can get weird results. But this is a way that we try and make things a little bit less subjective when we're trying to figure out who is most closely related to whom. When we're trying to figure out what that evolutionary tree looks like, this is how we do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. The matrix we were shown about Possum. Exactly, Lesnar. You remember that? Yeah. So I talked about this with Karen Poole when we were out in the field. Was it last month? A few months ago? Or a month and a week ago, something like that? If I can find that if I search phylogeny. Here we go.
It's sort of the go-to textbook for that.
Yeah.
You basically got 2 steps, 2 changes to get to spaghetti. So you got to change characters 2 and character.
So we were trying to use pasta as an analogy for this to try and explain it.
Character 1, we're gonna say. I'm probably going to write it.
I'm going to be bringing a different satellite dish out this year, so it doesn't
kind of put it over
keep having these hiccups. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, this marker is just not.
This year, I mean,
shoot.
This week
We can
when I
try
go
it
out to the
if you
field.
want. Yeah. Apologies. Those have been sitting in a hot car for.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'll give you a link to this if you want to. Watch that. There you go. The old dish, yeah, Claire. Hopefully that one will work better. But yeah, and Fedoric J says 12-year-old me was loving this stream. Really enjoyed the interview and was quietly losing it when Filippo started talking about D&D and Dino Riders. Oh, very cool, Fedoric. I'm glad you enjoyed. Yeah. Good stuff. And yeah, not a Punnett square, but a pasta square. There you go, how to do it. Yeah, I guess. This doesn't actually have anything to do with Punnett squares. It's different. But anyway, phylogenetics here. I can show you a real quick clip, since we're trying to do like background information stuff with Kevin Padian on cladistics. There we go.
Evolutionary characters.
The method is called cladistics, a systematic approach to sorting out relationships based on shared characteristics. These animals are more closely related to each other than any of them are to the dragonfly because they all have backbones, and the dragonfly does not. These three are more closely related to each other than to the fish because they all have 4 bony limbs. And these two are closer still because only they have feathers.
And so when we're doing something like this, it's important to pick the right character traits, the right characteristics, the right features that actually tell you something about these animals rather than ones that don't. So like you could say, well, ones that fly, maybe they are most closely related. So maybe the seagull and the dragonfly are most closely related to each other because they could both fly. Like, well, no, you're going to be completely wrong about that. That's not a very useful schema to use because this is an insect and this is a bird. Like, you know right off the bat that that's wrong. So you got to pick the right characteristics that are actually informative. And I think here, Jacques Gauthier actually talks about that.
The results are plotted on a branching diagram called a cladogram.
Most of the features that you have are inherited from very distant ancestors. And only a few features are really unique to you. And if we wanted to find you plus your descendants, we'd have to use those unique features that arose just with you and are carried on by your descendants, and not the features that you inherited from very distant ancestors. You wouldn't want to say you're related to an ape because both of us have 5 fingers, because, gee, so does a lizard, so does a turtle. All right? You'd want to say that we're related to the great apes because we both lack tails, and we're big.
To find the
So again, he's talking about finding the right features that are actually informative. And this is the sort of thing you got to think about when you're doing something like this. You know, when you're making an evolutionary family tree like this, when you're making a cladogram, you got to really make sure that you're talking about the features that are actually relevant, you know?
Closest relative of birds, Gautier programs his computer with hundreds of characters that, in his judgment, are found in modern birds,
I think Filippo might be doing that already,
dinosaurs, and various reptiles. The computer then sorts through all the evidence supplied by Gautier to determine who's most closely related to whom.
So this is cutting-edge stuff back in 1990.
And there it is.
The computer says that Archaeopteryx' closest relative was Deinonychus, which was itself derived from other dinosaurs. And birds are the continuation of that line.
So anyway, this is a simple cladogram right here like this. They can get a lot more complex, like the one that Filippo has here in the paper. But, yeah, really cool. Yeah. Does that make sense? So Filippo says, however, I think the most interesting paleobiological result we obtained is the reconstruction of the supraorbital membrane. This is a structure visible in birds as well. It's connective tissue, covering the eye and anchoring with the supraorbital, the eyebrow bone, and the prefrontal, frontal, and postorbital bones. So, right there, they're reconstructing that there would be this fleshy membrane right here that would cover the top of the eye. It goes in between this bone and the rest of the skull. So, looking from a top view, here's that bone right there, and you've got this fleshy membrane over the top of it. And we can see that here in this bird skull right here. With the flesh over it. There is the membrane right there. Fabio Manucci was the first one to suggest that the visible connective tissue marks could have been related to the supraorbital membrane, and he reconstructed it in the assembled skull. Don Serio of Johns Hopkins University helped us in describing it and comparing the structure to that of birds. Furthermore, the supraorbital membrane articulates solely with the lacrimal and not with the prefrontal as it does in other ornithischians. That's really interesting. This places the bone in a lower level in the orbit, giving it a mean look, giving it that scowl like we were talking about with the, I don't know, like eagles and stuff like that. Finally, with the help of Ricardo Araujo, we proposed for the first time a detailed characterization of the inner structure of the inner ear. We didn't even talk about this in the interview, but it's really cool. This project specifically might continue if we win a certain grant. Nice. And we also compiled a paleobiogeographical analysis of Iguanodontia, and I'm curious to see how it will evolve with more data and specimens. So come on, give me more specimens. Great. Yeah. And I was forgetting, Cariocecus is named after the Lusitanian god of war, Cariocecus, before being renamed into Mars or Ares. And bocagei refers to the 19th century Portuguese zoologist José Vicente Barbosa de Bocage. Actually, I'll show you something funny in the next few days in a genus name. Nice. Okay. So, this is not a picture of Filippo, even though it looks a little bit like him. But this is from the God of War game, correct? Yeah. And I kind of feel like there was a little bit of color inspiration here for our critter. We've got the red like that. We've got the kind of light gray. That's great. Yeah. And later in the day, European night, American afternoon, you'll find me in the live stream of Paleontologizing. Well, to discuss more about it. Brilliant. So here's a link to this series of posts here. If you'd like to engage with that, I'm sure Filippo would really like it if you'd like the post, if you happen to be on Blue Sky, or share it. We're, trying to get the word out about this dinosaur. This is exciting stuff. Brand new dinosaur. Important paleobiogeographical implications. Important implications for how we reconstruct these animals. Like, how do you do the soft tissue around the eye? That's important. This is important for the evolution of iguanodontians. It's important for fleshing out this ecosystem there in the early Cretaceous of Portugal. It's exciting stuff, Yeah. I'm really happy about this. Filippo did a great job. He and his co-authors have resurrected a very cool dinosaur. So welcome back to the world, Cariocecus. It's exciting. Yeah. An interesting diagonal. Okay, yeah. I mean, we're talking about like early Iberian mythology here. But yeah, interesting. Kratos appears in the opening scene of Aeschylus' play Prometheus Bound. Huh. Very cool. Anywho, neat stuff. And I'm thrilled that we're starting to already see different bits of art show up celebrating this animal. Like this on DeviantArt. We've got Joshua Knupe's illustration right there. Beautiful. Ugh. Really cool. Really, really cool. This might be a Dutch publication here. Yeah. De Standaard Akkoord stel voorkeuren in. Niet. translate to English. When Filippo Bertozzo saw a block of limestone in Portugal, he immediately thought, wow, this is really interesting. At the time of discovery, only a few tiny glints were visible in the limestone. But a trained eye can see that those are the tips of teeth. Because they were neatly aligned, there was a suspicion that they were connected to a bone. The Italian paleontologist told De Standard. He immediately agreed to examine the fossil. The assessment proved to be correct. Inside the block was a well-preserved skull of a previously undiscovered dinosaur species. The new iguanodont was named Cariocecus bocagei, according to a new article just published in the journal Systemic Paleontology. Very cool. And this is a great figure right here. I love this. With the supraorbital bone right there. Showing you, there it is on an eagle. Very cool. Nice. Cool stuff. If you speak Dutch, or if you don't, here's the link either way. Really neat. Yeah, and we're hopefully going to be seeing more and more press coverage like this. Hopefully we'll see some YouTube videos start to crop up here and there. I'm excited for other people to get excited about this dinosaur. Because it's worth getting excited about. This is really cool. And, do we already have... There's a Paleocast episode already? Well, well, well. Very cool. Excellent. Neat stuff. Here's a link there on Reddit, of all places. There you go. And the comparison to the eagle skull helps a lot to envision how it looked. I'm glad that's helpful, Petrodactylus. Yeah. Yeah. And Raptor Ren says, can we tag you on our art of this animal anywhere? Don't tag me, tag Filippo. He would love to see this. Yeah. It's his dinosaur, so yeah, he'd be thrilled to see that, I'm sure. Very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that 3D model there. Oh man, just seeing Filippo hold that, it's gonna be awesome to have this. I can't wait. Holy cow. I'll see if he's sent it already. I hope he's getting some sleep right now. But, nothing yet, but I'm sure it'll be coming soon. Exciting. Yeah. Good stuff. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, man. I'm excited. Oh yeah, and Crimson Garden. Yeah, if anybody wants to work on Cariocecus, do some art of that critter. That's a dinosaur that I'm one of the authors on that paper. And Lordy, holy cow!
It was like you go to the shoe store and they're like, maybe we have it in the back, and it was like all the fossils back there. It was pretty sick.
Lordy.
Best months of my life.
Thank you, Lordy, for the 64 months right there. Really appreciate that. It's a brand new alert. Just made that the other day. Yeah. Good stuff. Appreciate you, Lordy, for keeping me online for 64 months. Holy cow. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, Cariocecus prairiensis. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs. This is the first one ever published where I'm an author on the paper. Whoop. There we go. Fowler, Wilson, Friedman, Fowler, Noto, Anduza, and Horner, 2020. Cariocecus prairiensis. Here's a link. But yeah, Joe Burrow of all people here. Red said, "Are you not? You don't know he really likes fossils?"
There's this one fossil that proved Darwin's theory of evolution. It's called the Archaeopteryx, and we got to see, there's like 12 of them in the world. We got to see one of those.
13 now, yeah. Yeah.
That freaking works on it.
You got to see the Chicago Archaeopteryx is what he's talking about.
We went to the Natural History Museum. They took us behind the scenes and showed us some really cool stuff. It's like
it's the Field Museum
like
in
a
Chicago.
Library of fossils that they don't show everybody else. It was like you go to the shoe store and they're like, maybe we have it in the back, and it was like all the fossils back there. It was pretty sick. And they had the career like field guy that goes and finds them talking to us about it. It was pretty cool.
Do you have any eggs?
Yeah, they did have some eggs. Why were fossils on my mind? I don't know, because they're cool. When aren't fossils on your mind? They go back millions of years.
Oh, yeah.
Sick. Somehow there's this one fossil.
So cool. Anyway, he apparently plays for the football team in Cincinnati, and a whole bunch of the fossils that I and my crew helped excavate over the past 3 years are now in Cincinnati, at the museum in Cincinnati. Maybe we should work something out, you know? Maybe he'd like to go see those. See some brand new dinosaurs that haven't been published on yet. It's an idea, you know? Something I'd love to be able to pursue maybe early next year after all of these, I don't know, there's so many other things going on this year. Holy cow. Let's take a look at the schedule real quick. In fact, here, give me a second. There we go. Make this editable. Open it up with the right account. We might be skipping Wednesday's stream. I'm going to put that on there for now because I might need Wednesday to pack and get ready for the field. I'd also like to actually finally deliver the Tyrannosaurus skull to Fremont. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. In fact, I need to go continue working on that this evening. But, yeah. As soon as this coming Saturday, I'll be back out in the field in Utah, digging up dinosaurs and streaming that live for all who would wish to see that. And we'll be doing that for the next 2 weeks. So from September 20th through... Well, shoot, I think the first is going to be fieldwork too. We might even get to be on the front page on the first. We shall see. I've applied for that. So we'll see if that works out. But I will not be streaming on Thursday because that's going to be when I'm driving back home to California after that. But anyway, from this coming Saturday through Wednesday, October 1st, I'll be back out in the field in the early Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation with Josh Lively and his crew. We're going to be digging up Gastonia and some other dinosaurs there in that bone bed. And I can't wait. It's going to be really good. Here we go. And here is a link to the Walking with Dinosaurs episode that's about this particular site. So if you happen to be here in the US or elsewhere, if you have access to this, check out that episode because that's the same exact site that I'll be working at. And Jim, how are you doing, Jim? I hope you're feeling okay. I heard you had COVID on the way back from the conference in Europe. I hope you're feeling better, Jim. I hope you're getting some good rest. And Jim says I'm giving a talk on the Jurassic Cretaceous boundary on the evening of Wednesday, September 24th. And Moab, exciting, Jim. Very exciting. That's really cool. I can't wait to see you, because I hope you'll be coming out to visit us at the site at some point. It's going to be great to see you. I just interviewed Filippo Bertozzo earlier in the stream about his new dinosaur, Cariocecus, the new iguanodont from Portugal. I take it you've been hearing about this critter for a while, Jim. So it's cool that it's finally out, and the Journal of Systematic Paleontology. Pretty exciting. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway. I can't wait to get back out to the field. It's going to be really good. But I have so many things that I have to get ready before then. I still have to pack. I have some more errands to run. I've got some fossil 3D print deliveries to make. I've got new visual aids to put together, print out, and laminate. I've got some streaming equipment to test. Bunch of things that I have to get done. So we're gonna wrap up today's stream a little bit early. We've had a pretty full one today with that interview with Filippo. That was a lot of fun. It's yeah. So we'll be wrapping up about an hour earlier than we normally do. We'll be wrapping up right about now. So let's go ahead and do that. Start our wrap-up procedure here, and we'll put a Deinonychus under our credits. There we go. Because, man, have I got a lot of things I gotta do. Thank you to everybody who is currently being named in our credits. Entertaining James Napoli at the Utahraptor block over the week before I head to Moab. Very nice, Jim. Very, very cool. Oh man, that's exciting. I hope he's raring to work on it. Good stuff. Let's see who else is live right now. Again, this is about an hour earlier than I'm normally used to raiding out. Let's go raid into Casey Snowart and help her with her. Oh, she's already gotten her partner push. Yeah, let's go raid into Casey Snowart. Because I don't think we don't have Fossil Preparator live, right? No. There we go. Everybody, thank you for making today a fun stream, and thank you for all that financial support. Holy cow. I didn't know if we were going to make it to our sub goal before I leave for the field. It looks like we might now. Thank you to everybody who contributed. Subscribers, gifters, cheerers. Appreciate you more than you know for helping support these streams financially. That's the reason I can do this full time, is because of your generosity. Likewise to the moderators who keep this a safe and welcoming community for everybody. That's really important to me, that anybody can show up here, regardless of age, level of expertise in paleontology, whatever. I want you to feel at home here. Thank you, mods, for helping make that possible. All of your hard work and your dedication. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to this community, too. Thank you to the new followers, the raiders, the lurkers, too. Everybody, thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be streaming again tomorrow. Might be our last stream before we go out to the field. Might be tomorrow. And it'll be starting a little bit late, because I'll be coming back from Berkeley in the afternoon. But I hope to see all of you there tomorrow afternoon for some more paleontologizing. You all take care of yourselves, and let's go see what's up with Casey Snowart.